It was an amazing. It was a little out of the way spot that people went to play music sometimes with Cinnamon.
I love this. Whatever this is of you. That's beautiful.
That's from Colt Magnum, which we intend to bring back at some point.
Yeah, he played himself interviewing himself as two separate characters.
Yes.
That was the psychiatrist version of him.
That's
Yeah.
beautiful.
It was a great episode. That one was really fun.
It was really fun.
Doing it completely. Yeah, beer.
Yum. Aw. It might have clipped a little. Oh well. Mine up. Hey, what you do? Yeah, that's good.
All right.
All right.
All right.
Episode number whatever.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, we don't call it numbers anymore because we recorded episode 2, but we released it as episode 3. We even say episode 2 in the podcast
Twice. I know. Very foolish. Very stupid.
We also got really drunk and said a lot of shit.
I know. I listened to it yesterday.
Yeah.
It was,
There's a new one coming up tomorrow that really goes off the rails. We have to start learning how to direct. I have to learn how to steer better.
You talking about the one we did with Andy?
With Andy.
Oh God, that thing.
It drops tomorrow, and it's just like
here's a point. 10 minutes of tangent back to the point. 10 minutes of tangent from either.
I think the only thing we stayed on was the floating.
Yeah,
that's the only thing
tank.
that actually got talked about for real.
It was awesome though.
Okay. I guess we'll start now.
Let's address the elephant in the room.
Oh, so to my right, well, actually there's supposed to be 4 people here, but Todd had a heat stroke.
Oh God.
Yeah. So Todd's out. This was actually going to be more of a long-form story thing, but now it's just the 3 of us, and we'll just go till it ends. So to my right, Mr. Justin Cole.
Hello.
And to my left of lefts, actually, no, I guess it'd be like
I'm
center
actually
left.
like right in front of you.
Yeah.
We're sitting across the table from each other.
One of my favorite people in the world.
Yeah.
And newcomer to the podcast and all-around good guy and amazing photographer, Mr. Kurt Lunsford.
Hello.
Yeah, man.
Why am I here?
Kurt acts
Because
like he's really soft-spoken, but he's the most aggressive person I've met in my life.
he listens to nothing but Swedish black metal.
Yes.
Who told you that?
I saw your collection. Sorry, I
You've
sneaked in
been
your phone.
listening to my Spotify playlist.
It's just Burzum over and over and over and Behemoth.
But I
Every
did,
once in a while.
so today we're going to talk about Warped Tour
Yeah.
and all the years we've been going and the
RIP.
different stories. And the reason Kurt's here is because he has a very unique perspective of Warped Tour that
I guess.
none of us got to get at all. I mean, I got backstage once, but that didn't
I
last
got
long.
to get that experience because
Right. Because you work hard and
Yeah.
you do your job
Yeah.
and you're good. That's why you got that experience.
Yeah.
And you lost your camera in the process.
Everybody give Kurt money.
That's true. Yeah.
Give Kurt money to take photos.
Oh, that's
of you.
right. Yeah.
Well, I mean, I don't have a camera right now, so
I
it's kind of
know,
hard
but
to.
like, first donate money and buy stuff from Kurt so he can afford a new camera.
What's your shirt thing? Say your shirt thing.
It's I don't know how to describe it.
Your website. Just say that.
It's just KurtLunsfordPhotography.com.
Okay.
And then there's a shirt on there. It's like a skeleton taking pictures with a camera. It says document everything on it.
Right. It's hella dope. I ordered mine.
It's
I don't
pretty
know
cool.
if you saw.
Yeah, I did. Well, thank you for that.
Cha-ching.
Appreciate it.
I will order one.
That's what everyone says.
I don't have money right now to order it.
Me either.
I mean, we did get you to photograph stuff.
Yeah.
Also. Well, Todd did.
Yeah.
But anyway, Todd's not in here. Todd's not here because he had to go off and have a stupid fucking heat stroke like a dick. If you're listening, Todd, fuck you.
How rude of you.
Huh? Is rude?
No, of Todd.
Oh, yeah. Duh. I thought you were talking about me. I was like, no, that's as polite as I can be humanly. So anyway, what was first time? My first time was 04. And Warped Tour now, not Todd.
Okay. I was confused.
Yeah. Nah, dude. So I went twice, and I haven't been in recent years, but mainly just for lineup reasons.
Mm-hmm.
Every time it was like Every Time I Die is on there, and it's like, and about 2 other bands
Do
I
you
want to
need
see.
More bands than Every Time I Die?
No, I don't need to see any more bands.
Yeah, exactly.
But I mean, I'm not gonna drive. What is it? 5 hours to the
Yeah.
Smirnoff?
About 5 hours, yeah.
no,
Yeah,
I'm
so
good.
before we get fully into this and before we touch on that point, I definitely need to know how it felt to shoot
We're
the
gonna
best,
get there.
the best band in the world.
I know we're gonna get there.
I know. I'm just saying that is a direction point that I'm giving to Kurt. I need to hear that story.
Yeah, no, well, duh. And they are, definitely. I want to get to the end part, which is the last one. That's why we're doing this one, because this is
Man.
apparently the last big version of Warped Tour.
Yeah, the last cross country.
This is the last cross-country version.
Yeah.
It's not over. I think they're misleading people a little bit.
They're not misleading people. They're just, I mean, they used the hype to help with ticket sales.
Right.
Like multiple
And
dates
it worked.
sold out. And no, it worked very well.
Yeah,
I mean, when you think of selling out Warped Tour date, it's 20,000 plus people.
I think Lyman tweeted the other day that they had crossed the 500,000 mark. Fuck, dude.
That's ridiculous.
500,000 people. That's pretty impressive, dude. Like, in every single way, especially for today's concert. Just in general, the amount of people that go to them, 500,000's shockingly good number. But anyway, so
04.
It was hot. It was Texas.
You guys went to Dallas?
It was sticky. Oh yeah, that's the
Yeah.
only place.
Yeah,
Because I had
every-
family there, so hotels are free, obviously, because I don't have to pay for them.
Okay.
And I could just sleep in their house.
Out of the 3 times that I've gone, it's always been to Dallas. I almost went to St. Louis once.
Well, you went to Chicago, is that right?
Yeah. I went to Chicago this year. Last year I just went to Dallas. The year before that I went to Dallas and Milwaukee.
So you've been 4 times.
And then I went in 2013 to Houston,
Oh,
which was actually the very last date of that year.
how was that?
Very hot.
Yeah,
Very, very hot.
August in Houston.
Yeah.
Yikes.
It was absolutely insane.
Well, where was it this year? Florida, something? Was
Tampa.
it Tampa?
Yeah,
Oh
and
my
we
god.
ended in West Palm Beach yesterday.
Oh, that's right. No, Tampa was the day before,
Yeah.
right? It was Orlando, Tampa, then West Palm Beach. Is that right?
Okay, started in summer of 1995. When were you born, Kurt?
1992.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
So
not
almost
far
as
off.
old as you are. Dang, dude. I went in 04 and 06, and the best part about those 2 stories, I have a lot of stories from them because, I mean, Warped Tour is just crazy shit happening the entire time. 90 bands. What does it last? Like 6 hours, 7 hours? It's no time.
Yeah.
Set up, knocked down. But the first year I went, my favorite story is Under Oath on the Smart Punk stage. They Chasing Safety had just come out, I think, or was new, and it was raining, like pissing water all over everything, and they were like under this tent, and I just walked up there, and I was like, hey, oh, that's fucking Under Oath, man. Hey, what's up, fellas? They were like, nothing, man, just kind of pissed off. I'm like, what's up? Might cancel the set. And then they had like shorted Thursday's set and all that stuff because of rain. I mean, just was unreal. It was a real Texas thunderstorm. You know those silly pamphlets they hand out every year? I guess they're recycled. They're made out of recycled shit. And the rain, it turned the concrete into like this gray soup. Anyone that was there will know it was just so gross and covered every square inch of everything. But I got to hang out in the Smart Punk tent with Under Oath for like an hour.
That's
when
cool.
the rain stopped. That was fun.
That's pretty sick.
And the very next year, the very 2 years later, Defiant's out and they're headlining the thing. And there's a couple 100,000 people watching Under Oath. I think it was the Teal stage.
Yeah.
Brian and Teal, I think it was the 2 that year. Don't they change it? They think they changed it.
Yeah, every year it's different
It's like different.
sponsors.
So,
yeah.
right. It was like Brian and Teal. I think they were on the Teal stage. It was the far left stage, whatever it was.
Yeah.
And it was quite the epic sight to see. I wish cell phone cameras wouldn't have been so shitty back then.
Yeah,
Documented everything.
exactly.
With the plug for KurtLunsfordPhotography.com.
Again, beer brought to you by local brewery Lost 40 and KurtLunsfordPhotography.com.
Those are our sponsors for
That's our
today.
sponsors today. Non-paid sponsors. As a matter of fact, pay Kurt because
Pay
he's
the
awesome.
sponsors.
Yeah.
Buy Lost 40 beer and give me money.
That's it.
Yeah. That's all we're telling you to do.
That's it.
Don't even listen to the podcast. Just hear that part and be like, yeah, we should do
Get
that.
to that part, turn it off.
Yeah.
Did they have free condoms when y'all went? Did they have those
A
people
few
walking
years,
around?
yeah. Well, they
I think one year
The
they
backpack, the weird condom-shaped backpack.
Yeah.
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 What an odd thing.
When I went, they had like a huge, it was an inflatable Trojan tent, and you would walk through, and they'd show you a video of safe sex, and then give you 10 condoms as you walked out.
They moved up from
Listen,
backpacks to
I'm just gonna
buildings.
say, if you walk through that tent and you're at Warped Tour and you're watching all these bands, I'm pretty sure the last thought in your mind is, I'm gonna get fucking laid.
I also entered to win a skateboard one year, 06, I do believe. And it was the craziest thing you could do, wins the skateboard. Yeah, I didn't win. My thing was I was just going to shave my armpits. It's not that crazy, but
No,
it's in the Texas heat, and I didn't really want to do anything too stupid.
right. You know, they already fried your brain.
Did they have that wicked slip and slide when you were there? Oh, they did.
No, I never saw that.
Man, that was awesome. It was like
Yeah.
one of those inflatable slides, but with water. You know what I'm saying? Does that make sense?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
no,
what a slip and slide is.
Fuck. So what's your favorite story, Justin?
I've got probably like, I've got a few like really cool moments, but probably one of two out of my favorite instances was the first year I went, which was 2008. I went with Todd and Bryce and their respective girlfriends at the time, which they are obviously no longer with because they were
Right.
both married. We were walking through, like, Devil Wears Prada was on the, I want to say it was the Smart Punk stage. It wasn't, they weren't on a headlining main stage or anything, but the part where you walk past the amphitheater to get to the other parts of the thing, there was a big cluster of people and they weren't moving. And we
Always at that
yeah.
bottleneck.
yeah,
Yeah.
with the two gates.
Yep.
There were two security guards, and they were literally just standing there. They weren't funneling people through, and it turns out someone had passed out from heat exhaustion, and
That happens a lot.
that's why it was bottlenecked and all that stuff. It's like, but the thing was, the dude was just laying there. None of his friends would move him to the side. They weren't calling for medical attention or anything. So Bryce, I'm a big guy. Bryce just grabs the back of my shirt and says, "This guy has diarrhea," and just pushed me through this sea of people. And I was just like, "Everybody move! I have to shit." So people just cleared like the fucking like
The sea.
yeah,
the Red Sea.
yeah, the Red Sea. And so we get to the
Biblical shitting.
yeah, we get to the back of the open circle mosh pit right as Devil Wears Prada walks on stage. Like
Hell yeah.
there's feedback starting. Todd's
Perfect
already
timing.
in the pit. Todd was already there.
Of course.
So Bryce and I walk up to the back, and Mike from Devil Wears Prada says, "Hey, we have this saying every time we're in Texas called Texas is South," and they play the intro to Texas is South, and then they just stop, and everyone goes, and then they played their cover of Still Fly by Big Timers. They went right into it.
It's a sick cover, dude.
It was great.
It's the only version of that song I like.
I mean, I like the original version, but there's,
They're both good.
yeah, they're both great.
Yeah.
I listen to them back and forth
Do
often.
you really?
I don't like Birdman's rapping voice.
Mm-hmm.
Manny
Same one.
Manny Fresh is okay. I like Manny Fresh.
I listened to their version like 2 days ago.
yeah.
It's so good.
The Big Timers version?
No.
Or the Devil Wears Prada's
Devil Wears
version?
Prada
Yeah. And then that same year, I saw Protest the Hero on the Ernie Ball stage, the small Ernie Ball stage.
Yeah, that's a tiny
The
like
Battle
little
of the
truck.
Band stage?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
And they had just put out, I think Fortress was still new with like Blood Meat and all that stuff. And so these
Blood meat.
So then they walk on stage, and there's like maybe 40 people at that stage, and I'm one of those 40 people, and they fucking destroyed. It was one of the best technical sets I've ever seen in my life. Some dude got up on stage, and Rhodey just handed him the mic, and the dude just screamed like half the song, and Rhodey just like sat down near the drums and just drank water. And then after the song, he goes, "Hey man, that was pretty cool. Now get the fuck out of here."
Speaking of water, there's something that never caught on that was only at Warped Tour. You guys ever get one of the canned waters?
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw it the first year, right? The 04, and I was like, oh my God, they have canned water. And then I thought about it all the next year, of course, because why don't they sell canned water? And then I go in 06, and there's just a guy. I was watching Thursday, and there's a guy, and he's handing some out, and I fucking got one, and I was like, yes, sweet Lord, finally. And yeah, it tastes like shit. It's terrible,
It's
dude.
not good.
No.
I stole so many of those.
Oh, it's just can. It tastes like a fucking can. Just
Yeah.
eat the can.
But it's in a monster can.
I know.
No, I mean, my grocery store used to sell canned water, and me and a coworker bought some just to try it, and it just tastes like if you took shitty hose water and canned it.
Right.
So it's metal
And
shitty
rubber.
hose rubber water. That's all it is. And we drank the whole 12-pack. It wasn't worth it.
A 12-pack? You bought a whole 12-pack?
12 pack of
$2,
canned
dude.
water.
Did you guys have box water?
Yeah,
I don't even like that.
box water is pretty good.
I got like a waxy kind of.
Are you talking
flavor.
about like the box like coconut water?
Will
It
and
looks like
Jaden
that.
Smith own a boxed water company.
Oh, okay.
It's called Just Water.
But it's not
that's
just
not the
water.
one
It's
I
a
had.
box.
It's
Mine
just
said
water. in a
box
box.
water on it.
It just said box water. What a
Right.
generic. Try box
Well, it
water.
looked generic too, so maybe
Boxed
I just got the wrong
water.
one.
No. What?
Did I ever tell you about the mud wrestling I did in 04?
No.
The rain?
No.
No, that was fan. That was fun.
Wait, was that the same year you saw like Funeral for a Friend?
No, that was in Dallas. That was at a different thing.
Oh,
that was at a.
Yeah, he's seen fucking Funeral for a Friend.
That was at
like
the
in their
Deftones.
prime, in their heyday.
I don't remember that band.
That was that was a different thing. I was working, and
Yeah.
they just so happened to be touring with the Deftones for some weird.
If you like post-hardcore and you like people that are Welsh, go get Casually Dressed and Deep in Conversation by Funeral for a Friend. It's an amazing album.
That's the one with the phone call. And the
no,
drum.
that's the one with the two people on the rock with the masks on their face.
Oh, okay.
No, you're thinking of Streetcar.
Yeah, that one's awesome.
That's the first single from Hours.
Yeah.
Now, Hours
It's
is a great CD too.
It's literally like the first drummer that played a ride that I was like, I might have to get a ride. Yeah.
That Gallop riff, yeah.
Yep. Gallops for days.
Yeah.
So no, I did not see them. I did see a host of other good bands. I mean, obviously, it's fucking Warped Tour, and it was the heyday of the emo era.
Yeah.
So you name it, I probably fucking saw it. I think my favorite one was probably 06, just because that was like the height of all of that stuff. Did you go post any of those, the deaths of like all those bands? Did you get to see any of those guys on Warped Tour?
No.
No.
My first year was 2013.
Oh. And that was a text message brought
Thought
to
it
you
was
by
on silent. Whoops.
Rookie.
Brought to you by Kurt Lunsford Photography.
.com.
So what was 13 like? What was that one?
You said that's when you went to Houston.
Yeah, so we went to Houston. It was a terrible decision. I had never been to Warped Tour, and I really wanted to go. And there were rumors that it was like the last year,
Right.
which there's been that rumor every year.
Yep.
So I wanted to go to Dallas, but I wasn't off work. But I was off work the day the Houston date was happening. So literally, I worked like noon to 8:30. Got off work. We got in the car, drove straight to Houston overnight.
Ugh.
Yeah,
Good.
and
Houston's
then
what, like 8 hours?
yeah, it's like an eight and a half
9
hour
hours,
drive.
yeah. Probably 9 with stops.
Yeah.
Yeah, and went that day. I think we saw like Bowling for Soup, Bring Me the Horizon was on it that year.
Bowling for Soup.
Ah.
And that's
I know that year because there was a video going around. You know, that guitar player could do that pick trick where he would flick it behind his back and it would come
Yeah.
out the front.
The fat guy?
yeah.
The big dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the big dude.
Well, they're both fat now.
Oh, they're both fat now.
Yeah,
I think everybody's fat in that band now.
Jared, their
Got
vocalist,
that
is-
radio
yeah.
money, son. They ate all them hot pockets.
Got a little too comfortable with that
large.
Phineas and Ferb money.
Yeah, Bowling for Soup. What a band.
Oh man, they were fun.
Yeah, I liked them.
Who else?
I don't really remember any of
Yeah,
them. But I
right,
think like
'cause
Stick
it's
to Your Guns was on there.
It's like so fucking hot. You never remember.
Yeah, so that year too, I got one of those like free like fluorescent bandanas, and I kept putting it on my face to like keep the sun off my face.
Yeah.
Well, that just like magnified the sun, and I literally got like 2nd-degree burn all across my face,
Jesus.
and it was absolutely awful.
Yeah, that sounds miserable.
Yeah.
Dude. Oh my
Yeah.
god.
But you look great now.
Yeah, you had a way worse time.
This is where the rosy red cheeks came.
they never
Yeah,
left.
They're just
No.
perpetual
Just
now.
perma burned.
Yeah,
Dude.
What was the year that...
I'll never bitch about my rain-soaked one ever again. I mean, I got trench foot. My feet literally split open from it. It was all day.
Yeah.
yeah.
And those parking lot at the Smirnoff, it's curved all the way around, so it was like a little fucking lake. The water just didn't go away, and
Right.
so you're just walking around in this, 4-inch lake of water with this green gray muck.
Yeah,
that
no,
were those
thank you.
pamphlets that just dissolved, and fucking people everywhere. But anyway, then we were leaving, and there was just a couple people mud wrestling, and I was like, I'm gonna get in on that. And I did. I have a picture of it
Did
somewhere.
you throw down?
I did. I tossed one of them probably way too hard. Big giant man. I was the biggest dude there, obviously. I mean, I usually am. And it was
win
like
immediately.
2 other guys and 2 other girls, and it was. I mean, we had a blast, dude.
Yeah.
It was a hell of a way to get rid of the day. But then I had to go get in my car covered in mud. I didn't really think it through.
Was
Yeah.
the 2013 date, is that the same year that the Chariot broke up?
Ooh, I think it was.
Okay.
So yeah, the Chariot was on that because I remember. So
'cause they
the
would've been on
monster
the-
stage, like all of those bands, like Silverstein, Chariot.
Yeah.
I think Let Live was on it too.
Oh, Sleeper.
They all did covers of the other bands
Yeah.
on their stage.
Yeah.
So Silverstein did a Chariot of cover of the Chariot, and then vice versa.
That's
It was
awesome.
absolutely insane.
Yeah, because I remember Brandon, the Chariot's guitarist, had tabbed out Teach for Silverstein.
Mhm.
And then Silverstein had tabbed out, I think, Smile in Your Sleep or...
The Chariot did Smile in Your
Well,
Sleep.
it was either Smile in Your It was one of
I
like...
missed
it was
everything in this
obviously
world.
It was obviously one of like the heavy... It might have been like Your Sword versus My Dagger or something like that. Like obviously one of like the really, really heavy songs.
Yeah.
But I mean, yeah, that year... That was actually probably my favorite year. Yeah, watching Let Live was fucking incredible. In like the middle of the day, Jason got inside of a trash can, and
course he did.
screaming his brains out. Of course,
Yeah.
of course. Oh Sleeper had just put out, I think, the Titan EP, so they were playing stuff from that. I actually had that sleeveless green Oh Sleeper tank that I used to have.
Yep.
That's where I got it. Was
Oh,
at that
sweet.
show.
They're coming.
I know, in like 2
What's
weeks.
the date? What's the
The
date?
20th, I
The
think.
20th, yeah.
Yeah.
Of August?
Of
Yeah,
this month, yeah.
this month.
Oh my God! Yeah. Okay. So let's pause. Let's plug that.
Yeah.
If you are in
Emory,
yeah, Emory,
Oh Sleeper,
Oh Sleeper,
Limbs,
Limbs. That's
yeah,
right.
and then
Shit.
and then some other band I think called like Rough Go or something like that. Like Comrades is on like the first part of it, and I really like Comrades,
But they're doing switch, right? It's just like
yeah,
half and half.
Mhm,
Yeah. dude.
Limbs and the other band take over for Comrades basically.
Oh my God!
Um,
And it's at what? $10? $15?
it's
I think
not,
it's like 15,
it
something like that. I
15?
don't know.
I mean 15 for Emory and Oh Sleeper alone.
Dude, I don't
Yeah.
give a shit. You charge me $20. I'm going to that.
Yeah.
That's at Vino's too,
Yep.
dude.
Yep.
What?
Yeah.
That's got like a classic 2004 vibe going on.
Yeah,
man.
I guarantee Toby's gonna have something to say about. Hey, man, we played this venue a long time ago.
front of-
I'm Emory. Not,
They've played there
in
so
front
many
of a lot
times.
of
Yeah.
people too, man.
Yeah.
Well, at least in my era.
Yeah.
I remember watching Emory so like oversold. 400 or 500 people in that silly little hallway.
Is that the Get Your Weapons tour?
I don't
or
even
whatever?
know, dude.
See that? So that show.
So that was the same year that Emory played. Or no, Under Oath played the weekend before, and they were on Define the Great Line and was playing Vino's. It had just
Yeah.
come out, and it was just unreal packed.
yeah.
And a riot broke out in the middle of 7th and Chester.
Oh,
Oh yeah, no, it was fucking insane. People fighting people in the middle of the street, cars like just dead stopped. It was wild, dude.
that's crazy.
This was at the height of the Push Mosh crowd and the new wave of whatever that karate stuff is. They that's when they butted heads.
Karate.
Yeah, it's like SpongeBob karate, but whatever. Minus the headgear. And then so the very next weekend, and in that riot, a dude had hit a girl and her mom, like hit him and pushed him down and stuff. Well, the next weekend was Emory, and after Emory was over, a person to not be named who I do know took a police baton to that dude, put him in the hospital for
the guy that hit the mom and the
Mm-hmm.
daughter.
yeah. And I was sitting out front, and he
Street
comes running
justice.
around like, "We gotta go." And I was like, "What do you mean we gotta go?" He's like, "I'll tell you in a minute." And run to my car. I was
Wow.
like, "Oh my God." Yeah, but anyway, that was a terrible story. But hey, that's the day it all fucking changed around here.
Yeah.
Everything's gone downhill since.
That's factual. That's the actual moment for me. That's when I noticed it,
Yeah.
because both of those shows were sold out like unreal, and it just seems like ever since that day, it's just more and more,
Yeah.
just less and
I've-
less.
Right.
And we
the-
had,
In the time I've been going to shows at Vino's, I've never seen it as packed as it was in that time period.
yeah, no, I haven't either. Since, like, literally, I saw Story of the Year there, and there was literally, I think, like 600 fucking people in that hallway.
This was like in the Page Avenue era.
That was right when they were. It was right when they hit. The very next show they played was at Verizon.
Jesus. When they were in Little Rock for 2 days?
Huh? No. I'm saying they played at Vino's with
Oh.
unreal. Like, it was too small, but the show was booked before they popped. You
Right,
know what I'm
right,
saying?
right.
Yeah.
So then they come in and they fucking. The very next time they came to Arkansas, they're at fucking Verizon with Linkin Park.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, killing it, dude. Shit, we're way off topic, but man, I just remember all
Story of the
those
Year's
old
been on
era
Warped.
shows. They
Linkin
have. I
Park's been
saw
on
them.
Warped.
Fucking yeah, 06 they were on there. That's where I saw them. I've seen them like 4 or 5 times.
The only reason I was asking about that Emery show is if it's in the same era as Define the Great Line, it'd have to be 06, right? Or 05,
Yeah.
something like that.
05, 06.
Yeah, so if it's the same tour I'm thinking of, it's like it was Emery, As Cities Burn, Gym Class Heroes.
I saw them. Yeah,
And somebody else.
that would have been.
He is
06.
Legend. The only reason I missed that
So-
show is because I was still a senior in high school and I had senior night. I had a football game, so I couldn't make the
It's
show.
a very interesting lineup.
It's,
That's a
pretty
great
good
lineup.
Yeah,
I would
Yeah.
pay
I've
to see
seen
that
all those
lineup.
bands separately. I saw that show, but I think I was one of the. It was kind of go in and go out. It was so miserable and so hot. Like if you don't know what Vino's looks like for the people listening, it is literally a concrete hallway. And when you put, I mean, even just the other night, what is there's like 150 people. It was heated up in there,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
and it was like, yikes, man! I remember I
windows are
forgot what
boarded
this
up.
shit is like, dude. Except back then you could even smoke still, so it would just be smoke filled and
Ooh.
shitty. Yeah.
Even worse.
Yeah, way worse. I miss those days, man. I mean, I don't even smoke anymore, but smoking indoors was the shit.
So back to Warped Tour.
What's
You can't
that?
smoke there.
I was gonna say that the 2013 year, yeah, a lot of the bands I watched were on the Smart Punk stage. Like Let Live, The Chariot, Silverstein. The Chariot was the last band we watched that night, and they closed with not the Deaf Policeman. They did the part where they go out in the audience,
Right.
Just the blood on the roads, blood on the branches, that thing. They did that part at the very end, but the last actual song they played was I want to say Daggers.
That's a good one.
I mean, they opened with "Forget" from One Wing, and then they went straight into the audience. The only reason I remember that song is because there's that blast beat. Dun, dun, digga, 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 dun, dun, digga, 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 dun. I remember that part. I remember that drum beat. And they played that second, and then they played "The City." Then they played they opened with Evan Perks. Da, na, na,
Of course,
na,
yeah.
the big open one.
They could play any fucking of their songs.
Dude, yeah,
I mean, really,
their
honestly.
entire set could have been from "Everything's Alive."
They could have just
I'd
played
have been
any,
like, yeah.
any song, just one song over and over again, and I still would have been like, wow, best show ever.
Yep.
Blown away.
Absolutely incredible.
Just play Evan Perks 8 times in a row.
But
Yeah.
literally only them could do that.
Mhm.
They're the only band like them.
I agree.
If you don't like the Chariot, lose my number. And if you don't know me or have my number, find me, get it, and then lose it.
And immediately erase it.
Nah, dude. One of my other favorite Warped Tour moments, those little generator stages that they have, just
Oh,
like
dude,
the
yeah.
little smaller bands going on. I got recognized off of by another band that was playing as I was walking through, and they were from Jerusalem. Yeah, ironic. Like this.
the city in Israel.
Yep. And so they were called Man Alive. You remember them? It's a punk rock band.
Yeah.
I played with them their second night ever in America. Ever.
Was this
One
with
of-
Zero?
Huh? Yeah. Yeah. The band
God,
that
you're
shall
so
not be
old.
named. But anyway, the guitar player still fucking remembered me, man.
That's tight.
Yeah, because
Wait, dude, tell Kurt how like well you know the guys from Mayday Parade.
oh, I mean, we used to play shows with them. I was in this band. That was Annabelle, and
Yeah.
no, that was still Zero with an X. Yeah, lame as fuck. But we were cool. No, seriously, we were cool. Not really, but I like to think so. I got pictures to prove it.
In my brain,
I had-
we were best friends.
Yeah.
They don't remember my name, but
so we get this dude. We're playing with this other local band, Truth Farm, which I was in also for a stint. And we're at Vino's, and this guy with the shaggy hair shows up. He's like, "Hey, man, my band's playing down the road. You guys should come check it out afterwards." And we do. And his name was Brooks. Yeah, so he's and then all those years later, their Defining Moment was the name of his band. And they sounded, I mean, kind of the same, a little bit more emo-y, Taking Back Sunday-y.
Right.
I don't really know how to describe it. It's a lot more poppy, I guess. But then a few years later, I'm doing production work, and I'm out just doing like loading gear at Juanita's, man, and it's the band Mayday Parade. And we used to, by the way, they came back all the time, and we would sit and we would do video games, and they would stay over at my friend Brandon's house, and we would all hang out and chill. And I'm sitting there, and somebody goes, "Corey," and I was like, hello? But he didn't have the big poofy hair anymore.
Yeah.
So I didn't recognize him at first. He was like, "Dude, it's Brooks," and I was like, "Oh shit, man, what are you doing here?" He was like, "I'm playing." I was like, "For who?" He's like, "This band Mayday Parade." I was like, "Oh, that's cool." I had no fucking clue, dude, that they had just blown the fuck up.
Yeah.
Which is good for them. I mean, they toured so much. They deserve everything. But it was just awesome. And so
Corey knows Mayday Parade.
I do. I still have their TM's number. He was like, I texted him for a little while, and I was like, he was going to get me a sponsorship with Truth. He had an in with Truth, and I was a massive Truth drums fan. Still am, but I just don't have them anymore. Mine fell apart after 10 years of being thrown off stages.
So they're not that reliable.
I guess. I mean, honestly, they're probably over-reliable. They
Only 10 years?
I was
I
about
don't
to
know.
say, to withstand yours and my drumming.
And Todd leaping on it all the time.
That's true.
Every other show.
And breaking his tailbone a few times.
Yeah, he fell off of it one time. He thought he'd be a smart ass and jump on it, and he fell. His foot went on the tom instead of the kick drum, and half my drum kit just went bleep, off the riser, down into the pit. It was hilarious. I had to finish it with just a kick, snare, and a floor tom. That song, not the whole set. We reset everything.
Just pull a chariot.
I mean, yeah, basically.
I mean, if you haven't noticed by now, Kurt, the Chariot is a huge influence on us.
I had
of the
no
Chariot,
idea.
Yeah, I know. We're way more like James Taylor.
Speaking of the Chariot, I think that was their last tour was Warped Tour.
Yep.
They broke
Well,
up.
no, they did that final.
Well, they did the
tour.
final
Yeah.
tour. I mean, I'm saying like that's when they said they were breaking
It was
up.
like a week after Warped Tour ended that they
Yeah.
made that announcement.
Yeah.
So like
Yeah.
they had been stewing on that for.
No, I said it. Remember?
You did.
I was like, dude, I think the Chariot's breaking up.
He called the Chariot breaking up. He called Under Oath breaking up.
Yep.
He called the Dillinger Escape Plan breaking up. Before they even announced they were breaking up, he was like, I think the Dillinger's this next album's going to be their last one.
It's cryptic, man. It's how they say shit on the internet. And the
So-
Chariot, he said something in one tweet, and it was from Warped Tour. He was talking about being grateful and all this stuff, and I was like, oh, they're fucking done. Like, he has never said anything like that. I've never
Yeah.
seen a more meaningful anything. And I was like, oh, dude, they're done. And I told Justin the next time I saw him, I was like, dude, Chariot's over.
Yeah, he made that tweet like a day or two into Warped Tour, and then by the end of it, I was like, I told Bryce, I was like, man, Corey thinks they're going to break up, and me and Bryce were just like talking about it. We're just like, there's no way, dude. After you put out One Wing, like how? Why would you stop the momentum with such an amazing album? And then like a week later, they post that breakup video in their farewell tour, whatever the fuck it's called.
Because burnout don't fade away, bro. That's why. They were just like, what else can you do, man?
I watched
every album you made was progressively better. How do you top an album like One Wing?
Yeah, I mean they broke up on my birthday. Their very last show was on my birthday. The very next year they released Forget Not, the documentary. Every single year on my birthday I watch it, and I even watched it like a couple of weeks ago.
That's such a good documentary.
It's one of the best documentaries I've ever seen in my life.
I never even got to see the Chariot on Warped. I didn't go.
Dude,
I should have.
dude.
Man, life and shit, bro.
No, I get it, but I could also say that when we played that Scream the Prayer with them, whenever they played, remember they had all the lights turned off and Josh just swung around that lantern
That
on his
workshop
mic.
light. Yep.
That sounds insane.
It was
It was
amazing.
fucking crazy. They also duct
My
taped.
friend has a long exposure picture. Oh, he's not my friend anymore. Actually, he's a piece of fucking shit.
Oh, ouch.
But he has a photo, and he did a long exposure, and it's a complete circle
Yeah.
with Scoggins just in the middle screaming. It's like he's like twirling it.
I was just thinking that would be awful to shoot, but it sounds incredible to watch.
Oh yeah, they also duct taped Casey Wolf entirely from like the top of his ankles up to his neck.
It was his birthday.
It was his birthday.
And then he actually played like that.
Yeah,
covered in duct
he
tape.
somehow broke out. He like wormed his way out of it and played the rest of the set. It was fucking it was crazy. It was
So
wild.
what about you? What's your craziest Warped Tour story?
I guess I don't really have any crazy Warped Tour
You never saw
stories.
anything just overly ridiculous happen and just go, what the fuck?
I mean, other than like obviously doing photography in the pit and all that stuff.
Yeah.
You didn't see someone like fall the fuck down, get their concrete facial.
No,
go on?
nothing too crazy like that. I mean, the craziest thing I saw on Warped Tour was Guar, but they're just always
Oh, they're
crazy.
just crazy. Yeah, Guar's amazing.
No, nothing that stands out that was just like insane. Yeah.
Man, I
No.
guess they really toned it down.
Well, like every year I went, like they had up the signs that were like no stage diving and none of that shit.
So
like,
they corrected
yeah, so it was
everything.
kind of
Oh.
it was a little bit less punk rock
So
than
the Wild and Out shit was over.
Yeah,
with.
yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
see, I went in the early, even the early years. Fuck, it was already going on for 10 years.
Yeah.
I mean, when I went in 08 at the main stage, the left one was... I was standing on the right main stage because I was waiting for Every Time I Die. But on the left stage was Paramore. Still on Riot, crushing it, playing like I'm far away. I'm on
Yeah.
the right side of the right stage, and then they're all the way over here. And then I can hear everything clear as day. Haley's hitting every single note. They're interacting with the crowd, and they're moving all around, all crazy, all that stuff. And as soon as they hit their last note, "Bon, thank you guys so much." And as soon as that last note stops, wah, Andy and Jordan walk out on stage, and I'm like,
Yeah.
holy fuck. This shit's about to go crazy. They open with Bored Stiff. I don't pit. I never pit. I got in the circle pit whenever they start
Oh
that song.
fuck yeah, dude! I never pit either. And when Norma Jean was last here, dude, I have to admit my old bones were definitely in that.
I am not mosh worthy material. I don't like hardcore dancing. I just like to enjoy the music and visually take in the show and experience it all in my soul.
Yep.
But when that I'm just like, fuck it. Me and Bryce just get immediately in the pit, circle the whole song, and then I stayed at the back. I stayed at the edge of the pit, watched them play their set. Fucking incredible as always. They've never played a bad show to me.
Yeah, they're up there,
yeah.
man. They're
I
top
wasn't.
tier.
I was not at that Village show where Keith and Jordan were incredibly drunk and said, "We'll never come back to Little Rock again."
They never did.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they
they
did.
still. I don't think they have.
They came back a couple years later with Norma Jean and Cancer Bats.
Oh, did they?
Yeah, it was
That
like
was
2 years
before
later.
my time.
Oh, well, I mean, he was so drunk, dude, he didn't even change out of his pajamas. But to be honest, there was only like 50 people there in a 700 capacity venue.
Yeah.
I had even bought a ticket and I wasn't going to be able to go.
Dude, it was just one of those weird fucking nights where nobody showed up.
It was
and-
like it was a Take Action tour, right? It's like from first to last.
Yeah, that's right.
The
and
Bled.
he was in his pajamas, dude, like eating cereal while they were playing. He didn't give a fuck. He was, I guess they probably weren't happy, and obviously they weren't going to get all their money, so.
Yeah, I know. I'd be pissed if I
But-
showed up and 50 people were at a.
But they still fucking played, man.
Yeah,
I mean, it was awesome. They did their job. The fucking crowd didn't.
the
really-
promoter didn't do theirs apparently.
Well, you know, I don't really know who to put that on. It was probably just because, I mean, everything here was in the real hard downfall.
yeah.
So just no one was fucking going to shows. I mean, you could have promoted it. You could have stuck a flyer on everybody's door, and maybe fucking 56 people would have showed up. You know, it's hard to fucking tell. That was just a bad fucking era for anyone coming through here. But it sucks
Yeah.
for us now because none of those bands forget, and now it's hard to get them
No,
back
they
through
always.
here.
I mean, they drive through. They'll even have an off day in Little Rock, but they just won't play a show here.
Yeah, fucking Warped.
yeah.
did it.
Warped.
Well, speaking
The
of
entire
fucking
Warped
Warped
tour
Tour.
had an entire
Yeah.
day off here.
And not a single
Like-
fucking band played a venue. They didn't
Well,
do a
Bowling
one-
for Soup did.
Bowling for Soup played when they were
Played
just here?
Metroplex on that day off.
Oh, I guess.
Yeah.
I didn't even know that.
I didn't know that either.
Yeah, they played at Metroplex.
Did you go?
Well, how the fuck
No.
did I not hear about that?
I wanted to go, but it was $25, and I was like, ah.
I don't have $25.
I'm
And your
good.
camera was probably recently destroyed.
Well, no, this was before that.
Oh.
Yeah,
Well, good. You needed your $25.
I needed my yeah. Now I'm glad I didn't spend the $25.
Right.
Yeah,
How's that going? Is it going okay?
yeah, that's all right. I ordered my shirts. I get those hopefully next week,
Oh, sweet.
and then be able to ship those out and
You just
sell the
gonna keep
rest.
the shirt thing going?
Hopefully, I
Yeah.
mean, provided that the response is there, provided
Right.
that people
Well,
will
of
just
course,
keep buying
yeah.
them. Yeah,
Do you get Maxi to print them?
yeah.
Maxi's tight.
Maybe I'll get Kaylee one.
Hey, the more the merrier.
No, you know, his and hers.
What, you mean the more he married her? He did marry her.
I mean, yeah.
You know, whatever. Back to Warped Tour. Anyhow, dude, I remember the first year was like It was so fucking crazy. And I still tell the stories from that. Like, that's how memorable Warped Tour is. You just every fucking spot, everything is a little bit different. I think Chicago this year. How was it? Bryce went, our buddy Bryce, and he's posting photos, and it's just like it looks like it's gonna just shit. Like it looks like it's gonna get so canceled. He was like, who was the first band that day? Was it Every Time I Die?
We the Kings.
We the Kings.
Every Time I Die played. They were like second or third on the
Yeah.
Monster stage.
He was out there early, and he was like waiting on such and such. I think it was Every Time I Die, and the clouds were just black.
Oh
as
yeah,
night.
it was crazy.
And I was like, damn, dude, I hope it doesn't get canceled because that's the worst. I mean, that really was the worst part about 04
Yeah.
is so many of the bands, their sets just got cut or got shortened a lot. Like, I think Thursday only played like 15 minutes on a main stage. And they were at the fucking height of their career.
That's crazy.
They were exploded. They got exploded. Yeah, that's a shit
I
reference.
fucking hate you. He made a Medic Red reference.
I did. There's a band I hated. No, I didn't hate the band. I hated the delivery.
Yeah. He's told me that many, many numerous times. And it's not that I didn't not agree with him or fight him against it. It was just like, it's my band. I'm going to do what I want.
That's fair.
And if it failed,
Yeah.
and that's okay.
Failed because he didn't listen to me. No,
To each their
no,
own.
it failed for many reasons. It was terrible. That was the first one.
I mean, him and Kaylee came out to, we played this place called the Hippie Holler Hangout in Malvern.
Fuck you forever. I got tricked into trying beaver.
I don't know what that is.
Actual
like-
fucking animal
like-
from the creek.
Oh,
Like we had
Yeah.
a beaver
an
burger.
actual beaver. I thought that was like
like a
Code
an
word for
acronym
pussy.
for something.
for
I don't know.
ladies' parts. Yeah. No, it
No.
wasn't ladies'
was
parts
beaver
beaver.
meat.
It was beaver.
Literal
built
beaver
a dam
meat.
with his fucking tail beaver.
Chomp on wood with his butt
Yeah.
beaver.
Bullshit is
Leave
what
it to
beaver tastes
beaver.
like.
You didn't like it?
Dude, it was so fucking... Okay, so I fucking ate it. They said, oh, hamburgers are ready. So I went and got it, and it was like this brick. It looked like a fucking piece of MDF wood, but it was edible.
He's
And
not
so-
wrong about that.
So
That's
I
bad.
fucking take it, and I was like, damn, these are a bit fucking charred. No, it's just black. It's just shit colored already. And I take a bite, and I was like, I think maybe it's something weird, man. Like, maybe it's bad or something. I don't know. I'm just going to eat it and be nice. And it was on, like, I mean, it was fresh. Don't get me wrong. It was
So you
hot.
ate the whole thing.
Oh, I ate the whole thing to be nice because they were right there watching me. What do you think? What do you think? Blah, blah. I was like, it's good.
It's like they had those big, like, aluminum foil tubs. It's like you have, hot dogs, burgers, all that stuff. And basically, there were two that had burgers, and this one was unmarked, but it was the beaver. And then they had, like, baked beans, corn on the cob, all that stuff, that pulled pork, all that shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I ate other stuff with it to kind of like mask the shit taste. But it was something subdued and weird about it. And then like an hour later, some dude walks in and was like, man, y'all like those beaver burgers? And I was like, you fucking what? You fed me fucking what? You asshole. And I was not into it. And fucking fuck, dude, we got lost for like an hour trying to find that fucking place, man. And then you feed me beavers?
Yeah,
What the fuck?
the address we were given, we pulled up to the address, and then we turned around, and we tried it again, and Corey's like, this is where it says, like, we're looking at the sign, and it says the address right there, and there's nothing there. It's a fucking field.
It was a fucking field.
And
And
it-
down in that field, fucking Rape City, put it in your mouth, Central,
Malvern.
dude. And you go down, and there's like it was like a hill. It crested, and there was a little barn, and everything took place
It was
in that
it was
barn.
right past where we
And
were.
you still played.
Oh no, he played. I was with him.
Medic Red played. He went.
I
with
would
us.
no. I would have turned around instantly.
I wanted to. As a matter of fact, we were on our last pass because I had bitched enough, and we were actually going to go back
Yeah,
home.
me and John were going to cancel the show, and then it was either John or Kaylee was like, go a little bit past, see what we can find. As soon as we drive past it, there's
think it was
balloons,
John.
a huge sign. It was like a going away party for some dude.
And then I ate beaver. That's all. It's the only two fucking things I remember about
The
that.
only thing that was really bad about it for me is like I don't mind game meat, but it was just a little too gamey. It was a little.
That's what it was. It was
a little
gamey,
tough.
dude.
it was also
tough.
beaver.
It was also beaver, and I'll never forgive them for that. I have beaver in my blood because of those people.
I have a picture of me.
They were
I was-
super sweet though. They
Yeah.
just lied about what they were feeding us.
Yeah, I mean,
Did you even ask though?
No, but they said hamburgers. Okay.
Technically, it was a hamburger.
That was the
It
other.
was a burger.
Other bin were hamburgers, and they were good. Those hamburgers were great.
What, the real ones?
Yeah. I mean, especially after trying beaver, anything's good. I had beaver. I didn't like it. I think I'll eat some toxic sludge. Delicious.
So, favorite band to see at Warped Tour, Kurt?
I mean, it's really easy to just say Every Time I Die.
It's always easy to just. I'm saying like, okay, this is a better question.
Well,
I think
do
all three
top
of us.
three.
Okay,
Top
well, no,
three.
not top three. Most surprising band. At a
Most
Warped
surprising band.
Oh,
Tour. I know mine.
I've
I
got a
couldn't
good-
tell you
I've
their
got a
name,
good
but I
one for
know.
A set that you were just like, wow. Like, it may have been a band that you didn't like before, but you watch them and you're like, Jesus Christ, this is good.
So this is a band that I already liked, and I've seen them multiple times, but seeing them in this environment and it just seemed like they took it to a next level.
So it was like they were in their real environment.
Yeah,
Like they were in their natural.
but I'm gonna have to go with Knocked Loose.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, because so I've seen them in small clubs and it's been absolutely insane.
Of course.
But somehow they still brought that exact same energy as if we were in like a tiny like 200 cap room,
Right.
but there were like 2,000 people watching them and involved in the set.
the videos from
Oh
Knocked
no!
Loose's
I
sets
watched
are
them.
crazy.
Yeah.
They looked like they were just killing every single day.
Even Jordan and Keith from Every Time I Die like tweeted about like how insane
No, I know.
their set
That's
was.
where I was watching.
Yeah,
Was Jordan Buckley's Twitter account?
Yeah.
And what's the other one? Instagram.
Yeah, well, I mean, the one thing that I like about Every Time I Die, especially if they go on tour with a band that they think has a lot of potential, all that stuff, like they took Knock Loose on a huge tour, and Knock Loose is fucking crushing it. A couple years before that, they did it with fucking Code Orange when they were still Code Orange kids.
So that's a good one, Justin.
So the first year I went, 2008. It pains me to say this out loud. I saw the next to last show that I saw in the amphitheater before we left was 303.
yes,
Oh my
Was 303.
yes.
It was just the two of them. They didn't have a backing band. They just had their samples playing and all that stuff.
Oh my god!
Garbage.
You didn't even okay.
Garbage. So shitty. The only band that's worse, the only two bands that are worse are Rusty Hook.
And Metacred.
No. Listen. I'm about to go on a fucking tangent here, and I've been trying to tell this to people for years. So you remember that band Fun?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Okay. The singer for Fun used to be in a band called The Format.
Yep.
You were at that show, the Taking Back Sunday Jimmy Eat
was.
World show at UCA. Yeah, The Format was fucking so bad. Nate's singing was so awful that I judge every single vocal performance live that I see off that performance.
It wasn't good. I'm
It
not
was
gonna
really
shit
bad.
on him as hard
I
as you
have
are.
even tried throughout every 2 or 3 years trying to get back into The Format to see if I could like it, and I just hear his voice and
Yeah.
it makes me want to punch myself. When fucking We Are Young and Some Nights used to be on the radio, we used to have to listen to it at work at the animal clinic. I wanted to throw the radio all the time. So the next year I go with Chelsea. We go back to Dallas. We're seeing all these cool bands. It's like 3 p.m. We go to the main stage. Chelsea drags me to see 303. She's like, I think you'll like them. And I was like, I didn't like them last year. I doubt I'll like them now. They played the main stage. 500-600 people. They have the members of Inner Party System as their backing band. Put on one of the best shows I've ever seen in my life.
303.
Yes.
Wow, that is surprising.
They were great. And then I
His
watched
is less surprising. Yours is actually very surprising.
I watched Inner Party System later on the Skull Candy stage, and the singer had you know those fucking things that you turn up to them, it's like all that stuff.
An hourglass?
Like a rain stick.
No, yeah, one of those little
Yeah.
those little sticks. It has like the little thing, and it's like
Oh, yeah, okay. I see
okay.
what you-
In the middle of the stage, the vocalist had his mic right here, and then there was this giant orange thing on like tiny 4 legs that looked like that. It was basically a touchable theremin, a giant touchable
fuck
theremin
yeah.
that he controlled pitches with while
Okay,
he was
that's
singing.
cool.
It
And
was
his vocal pitch?
no
or the musical
no.
pitch?
No,
Okay.
like he never actually had an instrument up next to him because it's mostly
It
like
was just looped through.
Yeah, it was
Right.
looped through. Yeah,
No, I get
and,
it.
and he would bend all the way down and be like, Wee!
Okay,
was-
that's
It was
pretty
wild.
cool.
It was so great.
Yeah, mine's actually a lot like that. I have 2 actually. One, I don't know their name, and I'll just get them out of the way. So you know when you walk into Dallas before the bottleneck, there's the Ernie Ball stages right there to the left or whatever, where it used to be.
Sometimes, yeah.
Sometimes. I'm walking by, and there's like this big ass crowd at the Ernie Ball stage, and I'm like, man, what is going on here? And so we walk up, and I think it's just one of the bands I like because that was what was popular. And no, dude, it was a band, and I really wish I would remember their name, but it was the drummer was 8, and the oldest member was 12.
Was
and
it
they
Odysseus?
were fucking murdering.
No.
Was
Not
it 303? I don't know.
No, he asked if it was Iodicea.
No. This was a pop punk act. I know that for sure. They were pop punk. The drummer was 8, and the oldest member, because I think I ran into their mom, actually, because I was like, man, who is this band? And they told me. I just, for the life of me, can't remember.
Right.
I mean, how long ago was that? That was 14 years ago?
You say 04?
Yeah.
It was in 04? Yeah, 14 years.
Holy shit.
Maybe,
Yeah.
maybe it was the Naked Brothers band.
It's almost as old as Kurt is long ago. I'm just kidding.
Come at me, bro.
But anyway, okay, so that band right there, that was obviously the most surprising because they're fucking children and they were
Right.
slaying it. And I was in like, you gotta think 04, so like my first band was at our peak.
Mm-hmm.
We were peaked out. So as big as we ever were, that's it. That was in that same era. So I'm like, I'm a little hurt. My ego was a little stomped on. I just watched a fucking 12-year-old slay, murder a Warped Tour. Dude, they did so good. If anybody ever listens to this in the atmosphere, please tag them and tell me what the name of that band was, because, man, it was so good. It was really enjoyable.
They were probably a local. They were playing
Yeah,
Ernie
they
Ball.
were local there because they were doing the Battle of the Bands.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they were in Dallas somewhere, and, I mean, if they were 12 then, I don't know how old that was. 26.
Yeah.
Okay, so they're in their close to 30s now.
So they're basically Kurt's age.
Right.
Oh, hi.
Oh, okay. So when you were like probably doing nothing, these kids were mastering instruments and fucking shredding Warped Tour.
KurtLundford.com.
I actually missed. Damn, what band were we on our way to see? I think it was Emery. It was Emery, or it doesn't matter. But it was one of those, like, it was something like that. We actually missed some of their set to stay and watch this band. Super awesome. Okay, the exact same story. But I hadn't seen them live yet. It was through YouTube videos because I wanted to see if I wanted to see them live. Like, YouTube was like this
New thing.
And
You're dated.
yeah, fuck you. And me. So anyway, yeah, I get on there and I'm like, okay, this vocalist is a giant fucking piece of shit and I'll never watch this band. Well, then they're on Warped Tour and they went on after Thursday did. So I'm on Thursday's side waiting, and they play, and the very next band that comes on, and they changed my perspective forever, and now I love them. I listen to them all the time. Silverstein.
Oh,
Really?
Yep. One of the best
that is
sets.
surprising.
Yeah, one of the best sets I've ever seen was from the one band I didn't even care to fucking see in that whole tour. And they got out there, and it was like, they're one of those bands, they're like Maylene, that the album isn't what you see when you go live.
Yeah.
Like, the album isn't what you get. You get this whole other monster. And, dude, I don't know any of their names except for Shane, the singer, but holy shit, man. From afar, too. You got to remember, I'm 50,000 people deep on the other side because I was on stage left
Of Thursday?
of Thursday,
Which
so
is
I was
on the
on
left
the far end,
Yeah.
which is on the right side, all the way against the barricade because I was
Yeah.
front row for that show. And then I'm looking across at just all I can see is when they go out front past the monitors, and they're slaying. People are just like, oh yeah, and the sound was so good. Yeah, literally. So from that distance and that crappy vantage point, they changed my whole perspective.
That's crazy.
That's beautiful.
There's only two bands that have ever done that to me. For me, was Silverstein and Linkin Park. I saw Linkin Park with Metallica, and I was just like, I think they did better than Metallica. They were incredible.
That's high praise.
Yeah, like, Chester, rest in peace, but dude,
Right.
man, what a vocalist. Holy fucking
have
shit.
I ever told you that before my store broke up the first time, when we were still tuned in B, we were going to cover Don't Stay. I always wanted to cover Don't Stay. That's my favorite Linkin Park song ever.
You still can.
I mean, we could, but now you started a whole new monster, thanks. Because now I think we're going to do that E-Tid set.
Good.
Yeah.
That needs to happen.
Well, everyone chimed in their 2 cents, and I think we have enough to build a set with.
Oh, I haven't even put in mine yet. Well,
You
yeah, I
did?
did.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, you did.
Which one did I say?
You, well,
I mean, Taylor said my favorite song
Pedal.
of all time,
Right.
Pedal.
Pedal.
Can we talk about? I know you've seen it. I don't know if you saw it. The video of Jordan Buckley.
That's where. Okay.
Yes.
So I was wanting to do this at the end. I want to wrap up. With your story. So
You want to call on already?
No. Well, no. That's what I was saying.
Oh, okay.
I want that.
I wanted to talk about it at some point because
no, that
Yeah,
is it's
no.
on the list
I mean,
because that's the last thing that happened.
I need to hear your perspective being that close in the pit, taking photos
Right.
of every time I die. I need to know that experience because every time I've watched them, they've been my favorite band since 2004.
But also,
hands down.
here's something, dude. We try to be a little bit informative. We
Mm-hmm.
haven't really in the last one. How? Because you're moving up. You're definitely not bottom tier photography anymore. You've definitely crossed a line.
I never thought you were bottom.
Apparently
I didn't
Corey did.
necessarily. Hey,
Oh, yeah.
listen. It's not what I'm saying. I'm saying your struggle is a little easier than
Yeah,
it was.
yeah.
You're getting a name. You've definitely passed like. You're no longer a local band. You're a small
Yeah.
touring act.
Well,
If
I'm
I
not
had to
just
equate it to
some
something.
kid with a camera at this point. Like
Exactly.
bands know and recognize my name.
Yeah.
And I want to know, so just like to the people who are listening that are budding photographers, because there are some. I know for a fact we do have a couple that do love photography and want to get better out there. Kind of go through that and then like tell that story because I want to hear that fucking story too. It's so good. And the photos were so fucking good, dude.
Yeah. So every time I die is actually who I was shooting Warped for, which is cool. Because I knew their current drummer Clayton through when he was in Normagene.
Oh.
So I just hit him up, and then like when we were driving up there, driving up to Chicago, we were actually listening to Every Time I Die when he messaged me and was like, "Hey, I've got your photo pass." So get there, call him, meet up with
so
him.
they'll issue photo passes for the photographer for said band.
Yeah. So the bands have like an X amount of guest list spots.
Yes.
And they were already out of theirs because I mean they got rid of all theirs at the New York date because that's where
their big
they
hometown
already
show.
had them all accounted for. But he's a fan of my work and he was like, well, let me pull some strings and see if I can get a photo pass for you. And luckily for me, did. So
Right.
that was sick.
Shout out Clayton.
Shout out to Goose. But yeah, shooting Every Time I Die is terrifying and beautiful at the same time. Like all of them are moving nonstop. Like even Goose, he's behind a drum set, but he's
Oh yeah, no,
constantly-
y'all watched that 360 video? they
Yeah,
posted?
yeah.
Dude,
That was
that
insane.
thing was insane.
I'm glad you told me about the nighttime thing because I was totally like about to be like purchase.
Yeah.
What a great way to film a set.
No, those cameras are insane, but that guy has worked very, very hard to get the quality that he has out of it, and then the sound. He said he had like sound running from like 4 or 5 different spots.
You could see it. You could see the extra microphone.
He said he actually had to dirty it up because it sounded too good. Like it didn't sound like a live show.
So was anybody else's favorite part the kid to the left?
Yeah.
That's Brian from Knock Loose's brother.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well,
He's
dude,
a
he
huge
was
Every Time I
into
Die
it,
fan.
dude.
Yeah, that was beautiful.
I read through the comments and that was like everyone was like that
Yeah.
kid in the white shirt.
Yeah. Yeah.
Dude, so basically not just luck. I mean, you did know somebody.
Yeah. I mean, it's just shoot as many bands as you can,
So
as
basically,
often as you can.
and try to become at least befriend.
Yeah,
some of
just
them.
befriend them, send them the images you take. Like, don't get caught up in like, oh, I need to get paid for this or that
Right.
kind of thing. Especially with bigger bands like that.
in the beginning for sure.
Yeah. Like Normagene, I've shot them so many times. I want to say close to 10 times, and because of that, I have that friendship with the majority of the people in the band. Plus, you guys know Harvester; they're
Yep.
involved with Normagene now.
Right.
So, but just using that as an in, using my photos as an in helped create those friendships, which have in turn given me other opportunities like shooting Every Time I Die, Warped Tour, and things like that.
Right.
But
And you are seriously like one of the nicest dudes. I know.
I try to be.
Right? No, like you really are. I can't say enough good things about your work, dude.
Aw.
I try. I'm not trying to be like whatever, but dude, you're good. You deserve everything you get. And I really, really do hope that the camera situation
rosy
gets
red
itself
cheeks are
worked out.
showing.
Yeah, I still think that photo you have of the four of us. Like,
You're one of my new all-time favorite people.
Oh, thanks.
You are up there with Dallas Taylor and Chris Dudley. You have that unique.
That's huge praise from him.
You
Took
have,
a really cool picture of Chris Dudley
You have. Yes, you did.
that
He posted it.
that he shared and didn't
So
give me credit
sick.
for, but it's okay.
I did see that, and I was going to comment. I was like, "Yo, Chris, that's my boy. You better stop that."
It was also on his birthday.
That was fake.
What?
They did that like 9 times that tour.
What?
Yep.
Well, shit.
Yeah. He posted it on his actual birthday. If you go back and look.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know. How am I
Chris,
supposed to
still a
know
great
that?
photo.
Chris Dudley, grade A asshole.
Well, I only know that because I knew the dudes who did the show.
Yeah.
So, and
That's
that's
fair.
the original. For those of you listening who were at Under Oath, that's the original reason they didn't give them free booze that wasn't already, on their rider and stuff. Remember the crowd got all pissy because they didn't give them shots.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's actually the first and only time I've seen Under Oath.
What?
Yeah.
Hey, dude, you got a good one, man. I've seen them literally fucking 20 times, and I saw them when they were death metal. I've been listening to Under Oath, so I'm not one of these fucks who are like, well, they were better when. It's like, well, I saw them when they were absolute shit playing
You've seen
black
them
metal.
in every era.
Every single form. I've seen every single front man. I've seen
Right.
every single guitar player. I've seen them in every single form, and that was one of the best times I'd ever seen them. They were
Yeah.
and also not for nothing, but people say this about our band too. It was the first time I'd seen them happy in so long.
They all
were
seemed like they were
smiling.
just having a good time
Yep.
and just enjoying the show.
That's it.
I mean, especially with that being like the first no barricade show they had done in forever,
He said like 10 years.
which was insane.
That's crazy.
I was terrified.
You were shooting it.
Yeah, I was like right up front because like security had like kind of created a little bit of a barricade, but then like Under Oath
It
started,
lost all
and that just
control.
went to shit. And like some of the security guards actually like hopped up on stage and like walked to the back because there was just nothing they could do about it.
Oh, no, they couldn't.
But-
Well, even Under Oath, did you see Timmy? He was like, hey, man, just don't worry.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right,
Yeah.
we're not going to worry.
It was I forget who it was. Someone stage dived, and then like security tried to go after him for some reason, which I didn't understand because like
Because they have to, man.
yeah,
Insurance
and then Tim was
venue
just like
rules.
just let it happen.
Just let it happen. Fuck it.
Like it's fine.
But the promoters are definitely not like, yeah, just let it happen because that's their
Yeah.
lawsuit.
Yeah.
And people do sue these days. But okay. All right. A few more things. I want to get a couple out. We'll start with you, Justin. Worst performance. Was yours, in fact, both bands the same? Was your worst and best performance? And
Oh, the
most surprise?
303.
Was it 303? Did you
the-
see a worse band?
303 the first time was pretty bad. Off the top of my head, the only thing that I can think of that might come close is it was somebody in 2013. There was one band we watched that I was just not a fan of. I wasn't really a fan of Memphis Mayfire Set.
Were they? Was it them or like? Because I know I'm not saying like you just didn't like that band. Was it just bad?
It sounded too clean.
Oh,
Like,
so it's
we-
like overly polished for an outdoor.
Todd and Bryce and I were in like a spot kind of by the soundboard, and it just sounded way too good.
Yeah, you're by the soundboard.
It
No, I'm
it
saying, like,
sounded way
it-
too good.
It sounded too good that it was almost fake.
It was almost fake. It probably
Yeah.
was. They were. Well, that you got to think 13. That's probably when Amp Sims were first really becoming a huge thing, and so they were probably touring with Amp Sims, like
Yeah.
the actual head that is all in one thing.
Axe Effects.
So it
Kippers,
probably
all that stuff.
sounded more fake
Yeah.
than normal.
I mean, they put on a good show. Maddie did a great job with his vocal performance and everything. Like, he hit every note. But there's just something about the whole presentation that I just wasn't really feeling.
Yeah, I feel you.
I mean, one of the best sets I saw that year was Motion City.
Sometimes it's a fucking
Dude, Motion City is the shit live.
Okay, well,
I love
I
Odd
guess
City.
I'll go next because mine is Motion City.
The worst one?
Yep.
Went in
06.
06.
Yep. Me and buddy of mine, Blake, were sitting adjacent. The tent world, the merch world, was set up just to the fucking right of the far right stage out at the Smirnoff, because that's the only two I ever went to, was both in Dallas. And we were sitting under the shade because that year it was full sun in July. Terrible, in a parking lot made of concrete.
In Texas.
In Texas. It was 100 billion if it was 1 degree. and I'm pretty sure it was 100 billion. That's factual.
Before you hit an interest, I'm not gonna ruin the story or anything, but I just remembered the first year I went in '08, a really interesting thing that happened before we even got in. We were still in the line to get in.
Yep. The band that plays. Are you talking about the bands that play in the line? They'll just set up and play.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't a band. It was a person.
With an iPod?
No, you'll never guess who the person was.
Jerry Cole.
Nope.
Matt Damon.
No.
Ben Affleck.
No. I mean, finish your story.
Zack Snyder.
I've got it.
Was it Batman?
No, unless you want me to say it. I mean, it's not like a huge deal. I mean, you probably don't even know.
Mine's a simple story. Basically, my buddy Blake was a massive fan, and we walked over there to see him. And the first song, it was like, man, I'm just not feeling this, man. And then we went and sat down. And as the set went on, and you got to remember, man, Texas is always in the fucking middle. So it's always like these guys have been on tour for fucking 3 weeks. Their voices are starting to get exploded. They're every single day. It was one of those things where I feel like it probably wasn't that band. It was probably more just that day. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So like. Yeah. I just discredited it because, man, as the show went on, he just got progressively worse. And it was all the vocalist's fault because he does those high-pitched. And if you can't maintain, dude, that high-pitched shit goes south real quick. Yep. And it was flat. It was out. And I was already starting to be, like, more militant. You know what I'm saying? As a musician.
Yeah. Where
I started noticing things. And I was like, oh, that doesn't sound good, man. And he was like, well, we can go sit over here. So we went and sat under that tent for shade and I watched their whole set. I didn't walk away from it, but it was just not enjoyable. That's my worst one.
Yeah.
So that's ironic.
Another one of the worst performances, Man Overboard.
Who the fuck is that?
They were that band that had the defend pop punk shit with the gun.
Yeah.
No, because that's an Adam Sandler movie.
No, the Adam Sandler movie's great. That band is fucking dog shit. But the person who was in the parking lot was the saxophone player for Fishbone.
Who the fuck is Fishbone?
Fishbone's an old like Christian rock band from like the early 90s.
It's Matt Damon.
It's Matt Damon?
No, I mean so it's the black guy with a bowler hat, yellow and black socks that go all the way up to his knees.
Right. Yes.
And he like
I know
wore
who
like
you're talking about now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he played for like 20 minutes.
That's pretty cool.
It was awesome. He
Was
didn't
it
even face
acoustic?
No, he played a saxophone.
Oh, saxophone. See, I'm not listening.
No, like he just stood out. He had a little amplifier and a small little generator. That way he didn't have to actually plug anything in. Go. Nice. That's the sound of my neck when I kill myself.
Ooh.
Jesus Christ, Dustin.
Damn.
Wait, what?
Oh, no.
Okay.
Oh, yikes.
All right. We're off the rails. Let's go back to that story.
Saxophone player for Fishbone. How you feel about that, Kurt?
Ooh.
It's all right. Me and Corey have his name tattooed on us.
I do. Somewhere down here.
Yeah.
He forgot where it was.
I did. That was pretty shameful. What did I say the other day? No, let's not get into that. That'll make people upset.
Are you talking about at the show?
Yeah.
Oh God.
No, let's not get into it.
That was a mistake.
Was.
We can tell Kurt after.
Right.
After this is
It
done.
was a pretty bad, tasteless joke.
I may have heard it.
You probably did.
Probably.
Actually, I think we because we.
If it's the thing I told you outside when we were running B-roll footage, then yeah.
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 I
He knows
have it on
Okay.
camera.
Oh,
have it on
sweet.
camera?
Probably.
Great. Thanks for
Oh.
that, Justin.
Oh God.
I'm out of it anyway. As a terrible,
It's
terrible human.
B-roll. He posted the water ad I did. I want you to like to edit out the part where I say don't fucking do drugs.
Why? Because you want
No,
people to
I
do
wanted
drugs?
to edit just that part and send it and post it.
Oh, you want to post it?
It's
Oh.
a PSA. Don't
Hashtag
fucking do
send it.
heroin. What?
Oh,
Hashtag send it.
Hashtag send it.
You said if they're free to use your better judgment.
that's
If they're free drugs, but then I also said don't do heroin.
That's like the one. That's like the all-time one. I don't think
Yeah.
anything will ever escape that name. You know what I'm saying? Like, even if they made heroin less heroin-y and, like, more better, like, if they legalized it and you could go to a hospital and get real legit
Right.
heroin that's, like, less heroin,
Mm-hmm.
it's still going to be like, whoa, yeah, but you're still on heroin. It's
Yeah.
like, yeah, it's only 8 grams or whatever the fuck ever you measure heroin in. It's only 8 spoonsful, but it's still heroin.
8 spoonsful of heroin.
8 spoonsful sounds like a lot.
I don't fucking know what's a lot of heroin. I've never done it. Knock on wood. I don't want to do heroin.
I don't either.
We got into this on the last one. Let's not tangent. Anyway, okay.
We got into heroin on the last one?
No, about legalized drug use.
Oh, right.
The one that's coming out
Oh, tomorrow.
tomorrow.
Yeah.
Right. With Andy.
And the float tank.
Zach, did you like Andy?
I liked Andy.
Yeah,
Andy
dude.
was awesome.
He's fucking chill.
He was like, he's
Doesn't he sound like a radio announcer?
he does sound like a radio announcer, and like all the whole time he was just like, I've got all this extreme social anxiety. He was talking to me and Justin like he literally met us 10 minutes out here. He parked right next to me. I shook his hand. We walked in and we started the podcast, and it was like I had met him like a couple of years ago or something.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was
Andy's
good.
cool as shit.
Yeah, I like Andy. You'd like Andy too. He's a good dude.
He's
just
a pretty
a good
boy.
dude.
You like pretty boys?
He is a pretty boy.
That depends on the situation.
What about lady boys?
Also dependent on whether I'm in Thailand or not.
If I'm in Thailand or not, right? He's not wrong. Vietnam too, though, a little bit.
Yeah.
Okay, so the photography thing is fantastic. You also got a bunch of different things, but also the other sad story is your camera broke.
Yes.
So
I'm assuming
out
moisture?
there.
Yeah, so it rained a lot. And like not a lot, but like it was off and on in Chicago. Enough. And realistically my camera should be weatherproof to a certain extent. But I guess it
Especially
was
with the
just
price tag.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I guess it was just a little too much rain. But like it was raining while I was shooting bands. And I mean I'm not gonna not shoot a band just because there's a little drizzle or something like that. Especially in my mind, because like it's supposed to be one, weatherproofed, and two, like I have this like mindset of like if I'm afraid of breaking my camera, I shouldn't be shooting bands in the first place.
100%.
So that's why it's always really annoying to me when I see like other photographers complain about like people stage diving or whatever. Like that's stuff that you sign up for when you start to shoot this kind of stuff.
Did you go to Downtown's last show?
Yeah.
The videographer
yeah.
that was doing that got the lens kicked right off their camera. Remember that shit?
I don't remember that.
Oh, it shattered. It fucking toasted it.
I don't remember that at all.
Yeah. Right then and there.
I stayed at that show until like 2 a.m. and then I was like, I just need to go home.
I was there for majority. I went home at probably midnight 30, somewhere in there.
Yeah.
We didn't even know each other yet.
Yeah, that's
I saw
true.
you there, but
That's
I didn't
true.
know you.
They like use a chainsaw to like cut a part of the stage
Hell
out.
yeah,
It
dude.
was insane.
That poor kid doing the video though, man. Somebody stage dove and just the lens just came right off that fucking camera.
Glad that wasn't me because I was there shooting a lot of that stuff too. We were supposed to do like a downtown music hall like documentary,
What
but
happened
it just
to that?
never came to fruition.
Oh.
Yeah,
Would have been
Sucks.
worth it, man.
I would have loved.
people
to see
got busy and like people.
And then
just
Sam moved
clips
and-
lost and yeah.
Well, anyway, so it was raining. That's what
Yeah,
happened.
yeah. I mean, essentially just the rain and moisture. I was going to shoot movements. I don't know if you guys have heard
I
movements.
love movements.
Yeah.
They're so good. And that honestly, that was the one band I was the most excited about shooting, other than Every Time I Die. And then I turn on my camera and it turns on, but then the shutter button just keeps going. Like it just keeps taking pictures, and
It's like it's stuck down.
yeah, and in such a way that like it doesn't allow me to change any of the settings or like focus or anything like that. So I try to mess with it in the photo pit and take the battery out, do all of that, and then it gets to a point to where it stops doing that, but then the shutter button just won't work. Like it just won't take a picture. So yeah, I didn't get to shoot movements because of that. But luckily, a friend that I went with gave me his camera to use, so I was able to continue shooting for the rest of the day. So shout out to Zach Cook if you're listening to this.
Is that the Sony
No, it was a Nikon.
Nikon?
Yeah.
Sweet.
Yeah, the camera that you got's that one picture you took of Buddy doing the splits in midair, right?
Yeah.
Since his fail.
Which I still have no idea how I got that shot. Like
That's
I
a
was
great
zoomed
shot.
in, I was taking a picture of Steve, their drummer, and then I saw Buddy like get ready to jump, and I was shooting, like held it down and just kept continuously shooting as I zoomed out, and just somehow got that perfect shot.
Yeah. It's a great shot.
Happy accidents, man.
Exactly.
It's the
Yeah,
best part.
yeah.
They happen in record making all
Yeah.
the time.
Well, that's like the shot I got of Keith with Every Time I Die. Like I've shot them enough times to know that like he goes down in the crowd and things
Yep.
like that. And everyone was like hopping on the barricade and like trying to get that shot of like him leaned over in the crowd. And I was like, no, I'm gonna go for something different. So I like stood back near the stage, and I didn't have a wide lens anyway. So I knew I wasn't gonna be able to get that shot that everybody else was wanting, and I've already gotten that before.
Right.
So I just like stood there, and I know he always looks back to the band before he starts, and just
Yeah.
waited for that to happen, and then snapped the photos. And that's one of my favorites from
It's
Warped
iconic,
Tour.
dude.
Yeah.
It's one of those iconic photos. You just look at it and you're like, that's a fucking photo.
I think
Yeah.
I think that photo is one of your best photos. I think one of the other best photos of Keith Buckley ever is when he was at. It may have been Chicago from somebody else, but where he's like upside down, like kind of laying on the on the box, all that stuff.
Yeah.
That shot's incredible.
I think that was Allison. She was actually out with Epitaph, like shooting them every single day.
Oh shit!
She's shot Every Time I Die. I want to say like over 100 times. Like it's insane.
That's wild.
Yeah.
I mean, I've seen Every Time I Die probably 15-ish times at this point, but man, it's just
seen
so
6 or
nice.
7,
It's
yeah.
so nice every
It's
time.
one of those bands you never get tired of watching.
Well, see, I saw them a couple times, didn't even know who the fuck they were, because that's me. I just used to go to shows.
Yeah.
That's what you used to do, man. You just showed the fuck up, and whoever
And
was playing,
the
that's
scene
who
was a
saw.
lot stronger because of people with that mindset of I'm gonna go to a show. I don't care who's
Well,
playing.
and also, dude, it wasn't, fuck, dude, we just played a show the other day, and it was like $7, and it's like, man, the shows used to be $5, man.
Yeah.
Even Every Time I Die was $5 fucking dollars.
Yeah.
It was just more feasible. I was trying to explain this to the guys the other day, like, if you have a fucking band that's good, like take our band, like we don't suck live. That's what we always tell people. Like, don't listen to the album, just come see it. It's not it's not the audio, it's the visual. I love the songs. I put my heart and soul in every song. I love the music, but more so for people, I always tell everybody, it's definitely something you've probably never seen, and you'll get it one time. Just come and look.
Yeah.
So I always operate on the theory that Netflix is $7. I'm going to spend at minimum $40 to come see your fucking band play. After gas, we're old. Our listeners are old. They have kids.
Yeah.
You know what we're saying? That's a babysitter. That's gasoline. That's food. Because especially if you're coming to like Vino's, you're not going to not eat pizza.
That's true. Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
It's a $40, $50 night. If you buy a T-shirt, dude, those fucking things are $20 now. So you're spending a fucking fortune. And if you go to one show, you could have watched unlimited films for $7 fucking dollars. Okay, you better be fucking giving it everything. And I feel like a lot of the people we surround ourselves with, they do that. You do that with your photography. Like, me and Justin do it with our stage performances. The other bands we hang out with do it, And I feel like I was listening to that last episode we did with Todd, where we were talking about how there is definitely something going on with the venues around here. Mm-hmm. It's just undeniable. I mean, they're closing left and right. Even the house scene's getting shut down.
Yeah.
They just closed Hollow House a couple weeks back, and it's just going to keep going. One of the best operating venues we have are Whitewater, Vino's.
And Whitewater's 21 and up.
Right, and it's 21 and up.
Yeah.
So there's a thing for kids can't get into that.
Yeah. That's a big market generally.
Yeah, and it's a huge market.
Yeah.
Kids is where you want it at, because they're the ones that are going to keep, you hook them at 16, 18, they're going to keep them till you're 25, 26.
Yeah.
That's just speaking like a business. I don't mean that like a, some sort of money leech. But, I don't know, man. I just feel like the bands, I was thinking about this the other day, dude. I haven't played a show that I wasn't thrilled with at all this year.
Me neither.
I haven't played even the bands who I like. Yeah, it's not my speed, like it's not my style, but they still did good, minus maybe one.
Who?
Maybe. Yeah, I'm not gonna do that. I'm not an asshole. I mean, I am an asshole, but like it's different.
We'll talk about it off the air.
I feel like the caliber is up, and I feel like we might hit that sweet spot where like all the bands are good again. I feel like something might be shifting gears here.
I think the struggle with that is like all of the bands are trying harder, and they're putting a little bit more effort into their live performance and things like that. But
because you're competing with a $7 movie bill, bro.
Yeah, but it doesn't seem like, at least from my perspective, that the scene is necessarily responding to that. Like, I'm not seeing more people come to shows, even cheaper like $5 shows or whatever, regardless of how hard the bands are performing. And it's really discouraging.
It can be a bit disheartening.
Yeah.
I will say this, coming from, because mine and Justin's other band, we're building ourselves.
Yeah.
So it's understandable that maybe there's only, but dude, we've already played shows with plus 100 crowds.
Yeah.
you know, you build your profile up, you have to build a name for yourself. But our other band clearly already has a draw.
Yeah.
I mean, we did just fine. You were there. That
Yeah.
show was great.
Yeah. That show did really well.
But even the last show that our band played, which we had none of that draw. We had a few people there for us, but if it had just been us, man, it would have been, you know, a small crowd. But that EJ's, you know, EJ's, and they just closed. So there's another venue we lost. That was the last show.
They closed?
That was the last show.
Or they just started doing shows
They're still
anymore?
open as a place, but just not as a.
It wasn't the best spot for a show, but I mean,
But that show was sick.
yeah,
And
it was
here's
a good
something I
show.
was saying in the last podcast is that there's a thing that happens now that didn't used to happen. So see, when I used to go to shows, you went for every single band.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't go outside and smoke. You didn't do all that stuff unless you were playing. And if you're playing, we get it, man. You know, you can't fucking be in there for every song. You got to go warm up. You got to do whatever. But there's a thing now where people only come see the band they want,
Yeah.
which I don't get because it's the same $10. Guess what? That band, especially if they're first, they didn't get your $10.
Yeah.
The fucking headlining act got your $10.
Yeah.
You might as well stay and get the whole show.
Right.
But that venue, that show was so strange. The people that watched us, over 60% of that crowd was not the same crowd that watched the last band.
Yeah, that's something that threw me off at that show too, because I heard that like it was like 150 people ended up paying.
Paid.
There was never that many people in the
50
room.
people max. In the room.
There was never that many people in the room because
Right.
I mean it was just people cycling in and out, just coming to see like one or two bands and then
That's
leaving. Which I mean, that's discouraging, but it's still at least like the room was full at all times,
It was.
and
It's
I
a
mean,
small room.
yeah,
You played in the
So-
corner of a restaurant is basically what it was.
there was
On the
it was
floor.
cramped,
It was
but
cramped.
it was a fun show.
I had a blast, man. You know, all you can do is hope that just it's going to keep that.
Yeah,
And, you know,
yeah. I mean, so like I come from the perspective of like I go to like it doesn't matter what the genre is. Like I'm usually at whoever hires me, that kind of thing, or whatever
Right.
show is happening.
so you see more of it than even
So
we
I
would.
see, I mean every aspect of it, and I'll go to a show, like the last show you guys played. There were a bunch of people there I'd never seen before,
Yeah, same
a
here.
lot, and I was just like, where are these people normally? Like obviously you're somewhat into this type of music, so why are you not?
Oh,
keeping up with
I've
it
never
more.
seen us get more shout outs from new people
Yeah,
in our entire history. We had 3 or 4 really good posts from people that I've never
Ever
ever
met.
seen at a show
Yeah.
ever.
it's like where have you been the whole time?
That's what I'm saying. Maybe there's like a new wave going on. I don't
And
know.
even if like you haven't been involved the entire time, hopefully you're gonna start coming out to more shows.
Well,
Ideally,
that's
but-
the idea, right?
Yeah.
But I think also, I definitely, and not to be like, oh, you fucking harping on that shit again, dude. Facebook covers your shit up, man. Because
No, it does,
I had personal
100%.
friends that text me after I posted one of your photos, my photo
Yeah,
that I posted as my whatever
Profile picture.
Yeah.
I had a couple of people text me like, when was this? And I was like, are you fucking kidding me? I
Yeah.
promoted it for 2 months. They were like, I literally never saw a single thing.
yeah.
And I was like, oh.
I hear
so-
that all the time.
So
and
because my fucking
yeah.
band, dude, I'm telling you, man, I'm going back to texting. Because another friend of mine who was there, David, dude, I would have never guessed he'd have been there. Like, never in a million years. He was like, yeah, I just actually saw it like a week ago. And I was like, a fucking week? So,
Yeah.
you know, that stuff gets suppressed. Don't trust what that is unless you're willing to pay money.
yeah.
That's the only way people will see it, man, is if you pay $20-$30 to Facebook.
And even then, it might not get to the right people.
Right, because it depends on your targeting.
Yeah, it depends on your targeting. Like they might not even Facebook might not even show it to the people that even like your page.
I know. It's
But I mean, that's
disturbing.
still just an insane concept to me that you even have to pay to reach your own audience.
Yeah.
It is insane, but somebody put it to me, and this is, I know we'll get back on the Warped Tour in just a second, but this is a really good way somebody put it to me once. Because I come from the old school, definitely pre-internet. The fucking internet was a magical place that you didn't even, it was just something that was talked about. It wasn't even fucking real yet. And he was like, okay, so you're from the old school? Of course. Okay, how much did it cost you to print flyers out? And I was like, yeah, man, like, every bit of $10, that's the minimum. And sometimes 20, depends on how big you want the show. But then the gasoline, the time, I mean, your Saturday was spent. You're going to the malls, every single mall in town. You're going to every single, like, skate shop in town. You're going to every venue you can find that'll let you hang a flyer up.
Yeah.
And that shit, actually, when you think about it, costs a lot more money. And I was like, well, that's fair, but I can tell you right now, that $50 got me like 300 people in the room.
Yeah.
That's saying $50 on Facebook. Not going to put 300 people in the room.
Yeah.
But it has its ups and downs. There is a legitimacy to it, but it's also pretty fucked up that the people who purposefully liked your page, like, dude, My Hands to War, we have we don't tell anyone, hey, go like us on Facebook. It's there.
Yeah.
If you want to seek us out, that's why our number never changes. It just goes up mostly because
Like after shows and
because
things like
people
that generally.
find us.
Yeah.
We're not pushy, and we're, dude, we play like 6 shows a year. We're not trying to be millionaires. We only want the people who we impressed.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
For sure.
So it's like a weighted scale. It just depends on what you want out of it.
Yeah.
But I really do. The last few shows, I mean, this year has been great. Last year, we did a couple of good shows. Obviously our first show was insane, but
Right.
there was other lining factors to all that.
Yeah.
But every show after that was decent. Decent.
Yeah.
Not like terrible. But every show this year with both bands has been
Great.
pretty fucking solid.
Yeah.
I can't complain at all.
It's hard to pinpoint it because I mean, like I'll see you guys play a show and I'll see Vino's packed, and then I'll see you guys play another show maybe like 6 months later and 20, 30 people show up.
Right.
And it's confusing and hard to figure out like what changed, or like why did people not show up that time, or like
Right. The best. I mean, that's what I don't know. I
Yeah.
honestly don't have a good enough answer. The only thing I can say is you just literally have to look at, and not just the release for your bands, like what else is playing as far as music is concerned, but now everything is a factor.
Yeah.
Okay, what movies did they drop in the theater? What came out on Netflix? What is it raining? Like, weather really matters
Yeah.
now. You get a
Yeah.
raining show, dude, good luck.
I've gone to see Emery at Vino's before when it was snowing.
Yeah. No, dude, I drove 3 hours to see the Foo Fighters at FedEx Forum
Yeah.
in the snow,
Yeah.
in a straight up blizzard.
Like at a certain point, like you can keep making excuses, but either you want to support these acts and you want to support, the scene as a whole, or you just,
Or you just don't.
You only want to do it when it's convenient for you.
Right. Well, and a lot of things now too is it is what it is. I guess it's not anyone's really anybody's fault, but niches have become the thing. You find your crowd.
Yeah.
They cater to you only, and if you're on a cross-platform bill, man, you're gonna have different crowds throughout. I mean, we just saw it happen.
Yeah, for sure.
Luckily, the bands all had a decent ability to draw people in, and there was a good show for everyone.
Yeah.
But that's rare.
The room was never empty.
Never. No.
It wasn't the same people, but it was never empty.
Right. It was pretty consistent all night, and
Yeah.
rightfully so. The last band definitely had the bigger bang,
Yeah.
and it went off really well. It was surprising.
I mean, I think all of this kind of ties into Warped Tour too, and just like reasons why they might be calling it quits. Like if you look at like the people that, like obviously people didn't support it as well as they should have in the past like 5 to 10 years.
Otherwise, it would still be going.
Yeah. Whereas
it's
you look at
obviously
it,
monetary.
like people don't realize like your favorite bands and like tours like this stop happening because you stop going to shows. Like you think like, oh, just me not going to a show isn't that big of a deal, but when you have that mindset and like you have like different excuses pop up, there's 50 to 100 other people that are having the same stuff go on.
Yep.
And I
the
mean,
attendance records will prove it, man.
And if you look at this year, like everyone showed out because it was the last year. Like they sold out. I want to say it was like 10 or so dates
Yeah.
of the tour.
Chicago sold out.
Yeah. Chicago was, I want to say it was 22,000 people that were there.
Fucking
Jesus.
mental.
It was absolutely insane.
That's so crazy.
Yeah. I want to say that was one of the bigger venues that they had on the tour.
And that's the thing too, man. I want to just like get that across. Like people are really gonna miss that because it's going to go away. The
Yeah.
more and more venues that close, eventually all this stuff is going to just be downgraded into just like, what do you do? You know,
Yeah.
like I don't understand. I don't understand it. I mean, I'm also part of the problem because I don't make it to every show I'd like to.
For sure.
I just don't. And you can't afford it.
Yeah.
Every show I'd want to go to, there's no fucking way. Especially, you know, being older. I got bills. I got, you know, fucking rent and a car payment. I get it
Definitely.
that it's hard. And shows aren't cheap,
Yeah.
you know, so you have to pick the ones. But what I would suggest is a good rule of thumb is try to make it to at least one a month.
Yeah.
And make it a different band. Don't
Yeah, I
just
mean-
go see the same band every time.
That's my rebuttal to that is like as long as you're putting forth some sort of an effort to try and go to shows or to try and support, you know, local bands or like a band you like might be coming through and you might not be able to make it. Like you might have a legitimate excuse or you just can't afford it or whatever.
Right.
But at least like go out of the way to try and tell somebody else about that show.
Exactly. Or,
That kind of
or-
thing.
Or bring a friend.
Yeah.
Even if you got to pay for them, dude. Like, I know everybody's broke these days.
Yeah.
It's no, trust me. I'm fucking just as broke. You know? But, you know, bringing a friend fucking helps tremendously.
Yeah.
It's one more face. And honestly, a lot of times when you bring that friend that's never, like, seen anything like that, because the underground world's wild, bro.
It can
It's
be,
like,
yeah.
It's like hallucinating, you know? It's just like some shit you've never seen before. You're like, whoa, there are bands that I can pay $7 to see do the way more than what these $30 and $40 acts
Yeah.
are.
Mm-hmm.
Yup. And they'll actually talk to you. Their shirts aren't $40. Well, sadly, they're $20, but it's just the way it is.
Yeah,
It costs money
yeah.
to print a shirt these days.
Well, when you're not making money off the show, I think bands try to compensate for that off of merch sales.
Well, that's 100% what happened.
Yeah.
I mean, you have to.
I mean, you have to make that money so you can get back home.
But
And,
that, again, the
continue to
smaller
play
crowd,
shows.
now they're out more money than they would normally be.
yeah.
And eventually they'll be like, well, I saw him last time. It cost me $400 fucking dollars.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, and that was one of the major excuses for people not going to Warped Tour was, oh, the lineup's the same, or there's a lot of bands on here that are, you know, that have played in the past, that kind of
Not
thing.
gonna lie, dude. Mine was that. And it
Yeah.
wasn't the same. If it was the same, then I would have went.
Mm-hmm.
Mine was just nothing I was interested in except for two bands. And I
Yeah.
just couldn't justify,
Yeah.
you know, all the way to Dallas, taking time off work. I get it, man. I'm
For
part
sure.
of the problem, too. And I'm trying to course correct. You know, this year I've definitely spent more money at venues than I have in the last 2 years, for sure.
Yeah.
But I
Yeah.
just don't want it to disappear. So I'm trying. You got to do your part, too.
For sure.
Oh, man. So let's get to the fucking wild-ass ending of Warped Tour.
is what I've been
Probably
waiting
the
for.
coolest shit.
Well, there are two endings.
Well, there were two endings, but the ending... Hold on. Before we get to that, you got to take a picture with the man himself
I did, yeah.
and Kevin Lyman.
Yeah.
For those who are listening that don't understand who the man himself is, the guy that started Warped Tour. How in the fuck did that happen?
I mean, it wasn't anything crazy. Like, actually, I was trying to meet up with a friend, Zach and Spencer, and I called them, and they were like, "Hey, we're over here. Kevin's like doing a signing and stuff like that." I was like, "Oh shit!" So I like ran over there real quick, and yeah, I mean, he was just there. He had like a book that like was like his memoirs of like Warped Tour, and he was selling a couple copies and signing them and doing all that and just taking pictures of people. But it was really nice to just be able to have that moment and just shake his hand and just say thank you for everything. And
Yeah.
it was a nice way to just complete everything.
Yeah.
the whole experience. dude.
Yeah,
So,
yeah,
like,
yeah.
you got to, in one fell swoop, you got to go up. You got to watch probably some of your favorite bands
In
For
Chicago.
sure.
in Chicago,
yeah,
Chi-Town,
yeah.
fucking one of the coolest fucking cities.
Yeah.
I don't know if you ate the pizza or the hot dogs.
Oh,
so okay,
pizza
so,
for
so
sure.
good food.
Deep dish pizza.
And when it's all said and done, at the end of the day, you get to meet the dude who's brought it to fruition and then
Yeah.
closing it out.
yeah.
Like, man, what a fucking... That's like the coolest fucking...
And the
you might have
weather was
coolest
like
ones.
70 degrees all day.
Yeah.
It was
minus
perfect.
the camera thing.
Yeah, but like I said again, my mindset is like if that happens, it happens.
Right. And you kind of have to be that way. Dude, I can't tell you how many times this dude over here has broken something on fucking stage in real time. He kicked over an entire cabinet one time, just wasn't paying attention, and destroyed
for the show, man.
Destroyed the fucking cabinets.
It's for the show.
Right.
Well, no, it turned out that the cable was just bent or something.
no, it was broke off in there. I had to take I had
Oh.
to take everything apart and get the
Right.
Yeah.
Was that when
I remember
Is
because
that what the
Petridge
Ugg-
Farm remembers.
Was that the Ugg Life cabinet?
It was the Ugg Life cabinet.
I used to have
It
a
said
cabinet.
Ugg Life on
It
it.
had Ugg
Okay.
Life and
Because
tape.
Justin's hideous.
No, that show we
It's
played
fair.
with Strike the Choir, and Colton Davis replaced the amp. Like he
Right.
he reconfigured everything. Sounded better.
So, the ending. My ending.
Yeah.
I know there was the Kevin Lineman and the other band,
Pennywise.
Pennywise.
Pennywise helped. I mean, they took a chance on Kevin in the beginning.
Right. No, they started it and they finished it. Same
Yeah.
thing. No, that's cool. And
So
it's very historical.
Yeah, because that was the very last set of Warped Tour.
Yes.
But what we're about to talk about was the very last set of a band that did the entire tour.
Yes. And I mean, personally speaking, I wish they had the honor of having the last set. But I get the
Yeah.
whole symbolism of Pennywise being first and
Pennywise,
last.
main stage, like, yeah.
It makes sense, but okay, so every time I die, we can't mention them enough. They take to the stage, and they start doing their fucking show, and people are streaming it or whatever, and it gets to the end, and their last song they do Map Change, which if you're a grown man and you grew up listening to that band and all that stuff, dude, the first time I heard Map Change, I fucking cried.
Yeah, dude.
That song hits hard
Yes,
to
it
the
does.
feels. And so what a fitting song for a band like that, especially getting the honor of being technically the last touring band to play Warped Tour. So Jordan Buckley, okay, I have a heart for Every Time I Die, but this is Justin's favorite all-time band. So Justin, you finish up the story. I kind of laid the groundwork there. You finish the story.
Yeah, so they're playing Map Change, and they finish the song, and everybody in the band walks off stage except for Jordan, who keeps playing the ending riff for 14 minutes.
Something like that, yeah.
14 minutes past their set time.
Yeah,
They were trying to go for 18.
8:31 was the time. The minutes it was gonna take was like 18 something.
Yeah.
Right, because he wanted to finish because Pennywise was supposed to be done at 8:30.
Right. They wanted to play the last note, and he basically stayed on stage, not stopping moving. By the way,
Yeah,
still
headbanging the whole time, dude.
just the whole last riff of Map Change, just over and over and over, while they're still tearing stuff down.
Yeah.
And they eventually just cut him off, but he still kept playing it. Right?
Yeah.
Did you see that it was a stagehand that ended up having to be the guy to pull the plug?
No.
And I was reading the comments, and like nobody was like mad at the stagehand because he was obviously just doing his job.
Right.
Everybody's
But
gonna go
everyone
home,
was
but-
like, "There's no amount of fucking money you could have paid me to pull that cord out of that amp." I was like, "Dude, there's no fucking way." I would have had to been like, "Well, I guess
Yeah.
I'm not getting paid today."
well, because you could hear the PA turn off,
Yeah.
and then it was just the sound coming from the amp.
Just the amp, which was cranked,
Yeah.
plenty fucking cranked. But he did it. It was like 13 some odd minutes long,
Yeah.
and then they did it because they wanted to be the last note anyone heard at Warped Tour.
Yeah.
That was his idea. And dude, he headbanged the whole fucking time.
He did. Yeah. And then the stagehand came out and was like, "Hey, you need to stop." And then he like gave him a hug while he was still playing,
Yep.
and then hopped in the crowd and
Yeah, because then he got away from him. He's
Yeah.
like, I don't need you in my ear. Like, you could tell he
Yeah.
was just like, no, this is not for you. This is for everybody else here.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I saw all the tweets and Instagrams. People were like, nothing like standing in a pile of full-grown men covered in tattoos. Everyone is crying right now.
Jordan's wife Kate posted in the Etidiots page on Facebook, like, can anybody like send a video or something of the last song? And someone commented, can you explain what happened during the last song? Because either she didn't know or she didn't, wasn't
Yeah.
getting any type of footage or anything. And someone commented, they're like, I streamed it on my Instagram. Jordan kept playing the end of Map Change by himself while they tore everything down for like almost 14 minutes.
Dude, it was so epic. I watched the whole thing. Did you watch it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was another guy in another band was the one I watched. He was like side stage and then walked around to the photo pit.
I didn't see that one.
It's like one of the most beautiful things I've ever seen, but it's also so painful to watch.
It was awesome, dude. I
It's
mean,
very
that's,
emotional.
and leave it to them, like Jordan especially, to just be like throw fuck it to the wind and just be like, no, I'm gonna do this thing. I don't really care what you do.
He's
Turn it
Jordan
off.
from Every Time I
Yeah.
Die. Are you going to fucking stop him? No.
Turn it off if you want to turn it off. But I mean,
I'm terrified of Andy because he's huge. I'm terrified of Keith because
He's a
my
sweetheart, though, man.
Yeah, but he's my favorite vocalist and my favorite lyricist. But I'm probably more terrified of Jordan because he's the creative guy. He's the art guy.
Fair.
Yeah.
He's got that touch of autism. You know what I'm saying? That creative autisticness.
Yeah. I remember
For sure.
a few dates before, like, he tweeted something about, like, wanting to keep playing the ending of Map Change at the end of a date. And he was like, but I had to stop because Wage War was coming on next on the next stage. And then Wage War tweeted and was like, no, you can keep going. Like, we don't care. We would love it if you did that.
And plus, they're cool with Wage War, too,
Yeah,
which is
yeah.
awesome.
What's Every Time I Die? If you're not buddies with Every Time I Die, I mean, maybe they choked you out or something, but
Yeah, like, I don't know how... It just, even in my brain, you don't like the screaming. I get it. You don't like the heavy music, the fast music. I get it. But watch Shit Happens. Watch Shit Happens, the series. Watch all the...
or just go watch them live.
Yeah, or just watch all the DVDs that came with the bonus footage of them recording it in the studio and all that stuff. They're the funniest fucking people in the world. I want every single album they put out. I have always wanted just an extra DVD of bonus content. That's all I've ever wanted. They didn't do one with Low Teens because it's a way more serious thing, and I get that. I 100% get that. But like, even listening to Keith talk about when Doug did the filming for them when they were recorded from Parts Unknown with Kurt Blue, not Kurt Lunsford, photography.com. Like, Keith's talking about how, like, he quit drinking and he quit smoking and he's like trying to shed like a little light in his life because they almost broke up during X Lives. They almost broke up during Gutter Phenomenon too.
Well, that's weird because during X Lives, I really thought they were gonna break up. Remember, I
Yeah.
said something about that too.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Keith has gone on record numerous times. He's very open. He was just like, I did not like myself. I was very angry. And he was like, I wanted to quit. I so wanted to quit. And, you know, in 2014, when they're doing From Parts Unknown, he's just like, you know, let's shine some fucking light in. He's like, I'm trying to get better. He's like, I'm not worried about, is this a Keith line? Is this a Keith line? I'm worried about, like, people getting it tattooed on me. He's just like, all right,
Right.
how about I just write what's true to me?
No, it's a good one, man. I love that documentary. Or it's like a little video or
Yeah, it's
whatever
just a little
it was.
video on
Yeah.
YouTube, yeah.
It was like stop smoking or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. Damn. Well, that was a lot of good memories, dude.
That was.
I know I didn't go the last few years, but man, the 2 years I did go was, I still talk about it.
Yeah, I
Like
mean,
it was fucking yesterday.
The 3 years that I remember going, I may have gone another year, but I know I went 3 times for sure. Those have been some of the best experiences ever. Like,
Right.
dude, walking into 2013, the
And
first band I watched that day, Architects.
And it's one
Yeah.
fucking day. It's one
Look at how
day.
One day,
Big that band is now.
dude. They deserve it.
Yes, they do.
Right. I mean, I don't know, man. There's not enough cool fucking things you can say about the Warped Tour. The whole vibe. I mean, when I went, it maybe was a little different because it was a little more less guarded. Like
Yeah.
Did they still have the skate park when you went?
No. They did it this year, but just for the very first date in California.
Oh,
It was
okay.
just a giant half pipe.
Yeah, that's all it ever
Yeah,
was.
yeah. They didn't do it for the full run though.
Gotcha. Yeah, I mean, you know, and that just shows you too that the money was obviously like less and less, and that just
Yeah.
goes back to that other conversation we had about crowd attendance. But I mean, it's a weird world we live in, man. It's time to start reevaluating how we get people to shows and what we got to do. But
Yeah.
end of a fucking era.
No kidding.
I mean, I had a fucking blast. I think,
I saw the saxophonist for Fishbone.
you know, I definitely thank Kevin Lyman for like doing that. And like, man, you know, I saw shit the first year is like things I would have never thought to do, man. Even just little things, just the hustle.
Yeah.
The hustle of Warped Tour was really like the most impressive part. When you get there and they're still setting up the main stages, you know, they're still pulling the fucking
Oh, it's
barricades
insane.
out because they just got there that morning.
They
and
show
opened the
up
doors
at
11.
8 o'clock and they have
Yeah.
to open the gates by 11
Yep.
and they don't even have the stages built yet.
No,
Like it's such an insane process.
Such an insane process. I remember when I got there, the only thing that was playing was a literal pup tent, one of those little pop-up merch tents.
Yeah.
There was a band playing on the concrete with a fucking actual generator.
Yeah.
And then you turn right, and because like Shrate was like the food and shit, and then you turn right and you go down to like the band row, and there's just like these bands are like they just fucking start playing. PA's not even fucking on yet. It's like your time is now. Like, sorry for you.
Like you got to start now, and
Yeah.
you got to end by this time. That's one of the most beautiful things about Warped Tour to me is it doesn't matter how big your band is. You play for 30 minutes and only 30 minutes,
Everyone's equal on Warped Tour.
and you could open at 11 o'clock or you could close the show at 8.
Fucking E-Tid would open, and the next day they would close.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, man, fucking Every Time I Die, very established, is opening at the same time local band Billy Jack is fucking opening.
Yeah. Well, the Chicago date I went to, that was the first date on this run where they played before like 5 o'clock.
Right.
They played at like 12:15,
Yeah. It was
which was
superb.
crazy.
And that's the way it is. I remember the second time I went, dude, Emery was the first band
Yeah.
of the
Yeah.
day.
The very first time I went, Amberlin was the first band.
11 o'clock watching Emery, and they were slaying it, murdering. They were on the Smirnoff stage,
Yep.
the big black stage, and murdered it. And it was like crazy. It was like, wow, that's 11 o'clock in the morning, and we got a whole day left.
Well, and those bands like realize like they have to put out their all regardless of when they play too. So I mean, it's a beautiful thing, and it's unfortunate that it's gone, but
It is, man. But, you know, like a phoenix, something else will come from it. The
Yeah.
ashes of the old will birth
I mean
new.
the brand Warped Tour will still exist, and
It's going to still be a thing. And what I heard was they're probably going to just do major cities.
yeah, like
So
a
it's gonna
Warped
be like
weekend
6
type
dates,
thing. Yeah.
You know, like a week. It'll be like a week long, and it'll hit like, you know, New York fucking city, Dallas, Texas,
Yeah.
LA, you know, Chicago, the big
Seattle.
giant cities where you're going to get sold out.
Yeah.
Billings, Montana.
So it's not dead, it's just different.
Well, I don't even know if they'll still do the parking lots. Like,
No,
I think
probably
it'll
just
be
main stages.
just at venues.
Yeah, it's just going to be main
or
stages.
just amphitheaters or something
or
like that.
Like it'll literally be bands showing up to a pre-existing stage.
Yeah, yeah,
And they'll probably, what they'll do is what was that tour? Shit, it doesn't matter. They would split the stage.
yeah, yeah.
So the smaller band they would do a 3/4 and a quarter. They wouldn't do half and half.
I think you're thinking of like All Stars.
No, it wasn't All Stars, man. It was something that, damn. It
Most of
wasn't.
those bigger tours that have like 15 plus bands
Right,
on them.
right.
That's how they do it.
And that's kind of what I think it's going to go to.
Yeah.
is you'll have
Ozfest
like,
or something.
No, it wasn't even Ozfest, because even Ozfest it was very Warped Tour-y. I went to Ozfest too, and it was had a very Warped Tour vibe, but they only had one main stage.
yeah,
And that shit didn't start till later. Like, Ozfest, I had a better idea where during the day you had like that Brian and Teal feel, like the two main stages feel where everything just went back and forth. But at night, once like 5 o'clock hit, everyone went to the main stage. So the whole fucking crowd was there to see. I saw like Lamb of God.
yeah.
I think Azalea Dying, which fuck them. And then, yeah, I don't even care, dude. Fuck
I have
them.
an unpopular opinion on that.
Huh?
So I have an unpopular opinion on that.
Oh, you like them now still?
I mean, if
Well,
the
I
band
I
can
fucking
forgive
worked
him,
for the
then
guy, and way before
yeah.
he tried to murder his wife, he's a fucking dick.
That's fair.
He literally fucking threw the monitor off the fucking stage at our sound guy.
That's pretty.
because the monitor quit working. It wasn't the sound
Yeah.
guy's fault that the old ass monitor quit working.
Gotta love steroids.
Yeah, you gotta love them, and they try to make you fucking murder people. Apparently, well, that's
Yeah,
his
I guess so.
excuse anyway. I don't know. I'm very on the other side of that coin.
Yeah.
But I saw him before he tried to murder somebody be much of an asshole as you could be.
That's
I've never
yeah.
seen anything like it since and before. I've been around rock stars plenty,
Yeah, he said that's his least favorite person he's ever worked with.
hands down. And I've worked for some shitty motherfuckers. I've been in people's faces, and I still would never want to work for him.
Yeah.
Yeah. The level of,
Unprofessionalism.
yeah, unprofessional. He was just a giant baby. One thing didn't go his way, and it was just an old monitor, dude. The cable
Yeah.
just stopped working. It wasn't even the monitor. It was just the cable was shit. And I understand. You're coming to a venue. You have like a caliber at what you want to play, but you don't fucking throw monitors at people.
Yeah.
Ever.
No, that's a good point.
Yeah. Anyway, I digress. I don't mean to get into that fuck ass of a story, because that's just a whole nother topic. And I do believe in forgiving people for their past bullshit.
Yeah.
Because we can't be our past selves. Everybody changes, but until I see some real fucking change out of that guy, then, to me it's just like,
Well, that's my viewpoint on it. With the band themselves, like when he first got out, none of them would return his phone calls or text messages. Like they all were like, "Nah, fuck that guy." And I mean, eventually they all got to a point after like talking to him where they all forgave him.
Right.
So I mean, if and I don't know if his wife ever did or any of that stuff. I mean, I don't blame her if she didn't.
I don't probably.
But
think so.
I don't know. That's my viewpoint on it. Like if those people that were hurt and wronged by what he did can forgive him, then I have no reason to be upset with him about it.
And
because
I agree with
it didn't,
that too.
Yeah.
But mine stems from just a personal experience.
Yeah, and that's
Us.
understandable.
Right, because I saw the, I don't even know the word for it, the dickheadedness of him.
Yeah.
But I don't want to end on a bad note. I just know that like literally just the 2 times I went to Warped Tour, dude, I learned so much.
Mm-hmm.
It taught me a lot, and just the amount of fucking fun you can have in a single day is pretty fucking unreal.
Yeah.
I want to say
I was wrong about Under Oath headlining. I just remembered the Bled actually headlined 06.
Oh god, that's so
nobody stayed.
That sucks.
Well, because Under Oath was at the fucking pinnacle,
That's true.
and Texas is an Under Oath state.
Yeah.
And like the fact that they weren't headlining was kind of foolish. But like I remember leaving because a friend of ours was heat exhausted.
Mm-hmm.
Just droves of people, and the Bled started to like half the crowd that Under Oath had, and I was like, oh, that's kind of sad because the Bled was the shit. I forgot all about that.
I love that, man.
Oh, the Bled's awesome. Hey, did you ever see him?
No.
Oh, so good,
No.
dude.
Never got the chance.
Saw him in 2010 on the Rise Records tour. They had just signed to Rise, put out Heat Fetish.
I think I saw that one, and I saw them briefly while I was walking away from them at Warped Tour.
So it was like
You were one of the people that left.
Well, my friend had heat exhaustion. It was a she, and she was very upset and crying.
That's
and,
fair, yeah.
You know, we were like, well, okay, let's go. And I was driving, so I had no choice.
Yeah.
So the opening band was The Color Morale.
Okay.
From We All Have Demons, the first one.
I
First one.
fucking love The Color Morale.
I do too.
They're so good.
They're on hiatus, I think, now.
Yes.
Yes, or have been for.
The second band was Of Mice and Men with Jerry on vocals.
Ooh.
The third band was In Fear and Faith. I kind of knew those guys, and then the Bled headlined. There was maybe 12 or 15 people left, and me and John, me and John were actually at the front of the stage because I knew every word because I love the Bled. So they get off stage, they play their last song, and James, the vocalist, looks back at Josh, the drummer, and he goes, "No, stay up here." And he's like, "What the fuck you doing?" He's like, "I want to get a drink." And he was just like, "No, stay up here." So he grabs one of the guitarist's guitar, and he goes, "Just follow along." He's like, "You know the song, we sing all the time." And Josh just goes, "Not this fucking song." And he's like, "Yes." So James gets a guitar, and him and Ski Bar play "Purple Rain" by Prince. By Prince.
Ridiculous.
Listen, Jeremy, the guitarist, the only fully original member in the band,
Right.
is off the stage, kind of standing, just watching him do this. And I walked by because I was gonna go outside to smoke, and I was like, "Hey man," I was like, "You've known James a long time." He's like, "Yeah, I have." He's like, since we put out Past the Flask, which was like 10 years prior to that. And I was like, "Have you ever seen him do anything like this?" He goes, "No, never." And then he saw my Oceana shirt that I was wearing, and he goes, "I want that shirt." I was like, "Well, I just bought one of your shirts." He was like, "I will give you one in exchange." So I have 2 The Bled shirts.
Actually, no. I think I have one of those shirts.
The one with the hand grenade,
I think that's right.
the gray one, black and
Worth
gray.
noting that
think
you're
so.
both wearing To Speak of Wolf shirts.
Are you fucking kidding me?
We do this all the time with no planning.
Literally, this is
is
the
one of
first time I've worn this shirt in fucking a month.
I wore this like 3 days ago, and I was just like, I'm gonna. I woke up today. I was like, I want to wear this. I was like, I guarantee Corey's gonna either wear something.
I had my
different.
Every Time I Die shirt on 2 days ago, and
Yeah.
I put this one on 2 days ago, and I haven't taken it off because I'm a gross bitch.
No, me and Corey love To Speak of Wolves.
Oh,
obviously.
dude.
It's also worth noting that Jimmy is doing vocals for them right now.
That's
Rufus
wild.
Gates about to have a kid.
Yeah.
That's right. Well, I
crazy.
mean, both things are awesome.
So Secret, we tried to book a show on one of their off dates on this tour.
There's a lot of off dates.
Well, I'm talking about like the 9th.
A close
and the
off
12th.
date.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were going to play it, but we just couldn't work it out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
CT messaged me. The date that they wanted to do, I messaged CT, and CT was like, "We're having an event that night, man. I'm sorry.
Well,
Next time."
you know, there's always
Downside
next
of only
time.
having one good venue that will actually book
that will
shows.
actually play
Exactly.
heavy music. Yeah. Well,
I wish Stickies would.
But man, it's
That's
not conducive, man. It's not the right format.
It would sound great.
It would
Stickies is
sound
cozy. I mean,
It's
they've got
cozy.
great
That's
sound.
the problem, though. That's the problem. That
Lane
stage,
Johnny could play there.
that stage
we
is
have.
too weird, man. You get more than one band on there, especially a 5-piece, and
Yeah,
you're just
yeah.
crammed.
Their shows are so weird too. Like I've gone to
And I
2
love
shows
Stickies.
there, and both times it was only one band playing.
Yeah, no,
It was just a
that's-
random touring act that they had like coming through.
Yep, and Maestro is an actual maestro. I mean, he has that name for a reason.
Yes.
I love Maestro to death. A lot of people, for some reason,
A lot of
don't.
people just don't know how to deal with them.
That's it. Well, you just got to be fucking direct, man.
Yeah.
He's been doing this shit for fucking 30 years. He don't want to hear your bullshit.
He tells you what he wants, and then he asks you what you want.
Yeah, there you go. There's a pro tip. If you ever play Sticky Fingers in Little Rock, Arkansas, don't bullshit the
sound
master. His fucking name is Maestro. It's for a fucking reason.
Yeah.
He knows what the fuck you're talking about. Just tell him, hey, I need kick, snare, guitar, stage fucking left. Leave him the fuck alone.
Yeah.
He's going to make you sound good. Don't be like, I need more mids in my monitor, please. He's going to be like, all right, well, I'm going to burn you up with these lights.
That's true.
He did that shit to me. And I'm fucking friends with Maestro. And he did it to me. I was like, hey, man, I hate to ask, but I really need some more guitar stage left. And he was like, okay, I'm going to burn your ass up with them lights. I was like, oh, fuck. And he did.
He did.
Dude, he made it so fucking hot on that stage. It hurt.
Lights are my best friend.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know. We're going to do another episode about that. I have
About lights.
2 of my other friends. No, photography.
Oh.
Fuck. About lighting.
Just about lighting.
Yeah, it's just about lighting.
2 hours of how to light.
Lights are really bright. The end.
That's Justin's approach.
Yep.
Whereas me and Kurt might be like, well, there's all different kinds. There's daylight. There's warm light. There's fucking night light.
Soft light.
It's black
soft,
lights.
Dark. Black light.
Yeah.
There's a
That shows
mountain.
semen stains everywhere. That's a great way to end it. Semen stains.